the health. Honestly, looking a little bit frazzled, a little bit jittery. It's not the point where you want to be shaken up.
Certainly not. It was good damage back there, and he got a worthwhile trade, but just unable to turn it into anything. After still just well, kind of dominant. Predator's had his moments, but
yeah,
it's
like any good quick game.
Together.
When you make the frags, it's almost as important as making the frags themselves.
Yep.
You need to be able to make the frag and then deny a conversion, or at least a comeback frag, and be able to grab yourselves, you know, some of the more important items. Weapons has actually been one of the bigger problems for Predators so far.
Here he is, moving on in. Yeah,
Alright, but Puffdar's weak. He's able to take away a Mega, but he's got no armor, at least until he's able to come in here for the red. Oh my god, that LG is absolutely nasty. 34% for him so far here.
This looks so frustrating to play against, because Puffdar's making moves. You know, I mean, the way he's playing, if you look at his perspective, it all makes so much sense, but you just get this feeling every time Predator, he thinks he's got an inch. For whatever reason, the door slammed back in his face. And
such as Warsow.
Yeah, he must be wondering where it's going wrong, because I don't think his decisions have been all that bad. At least within the margin for error, you know, when you're trying to gauge stacks.
Well, I think the nerves are starting to play a bit of an effect. Seen a few weird movement choices from Predator that might not have been choices at all.
Yep. And of course, before the game, he did say, "Break me completely." A defeatist attitude, not that I would blame him, but, you know, he might be quite aware this is an exhibition.
I wouldn't even call this a complete break. I mean, this can be a fairly low-scoring map, but as is the case with any map in Warsow, once you reach a certain threshold of speed, then, you know, space just doesn't matter anymore. It's like watching DM2 in Quake World. It's like, yeah, it's a big map, but at the speed these guys are going, it might as well not be. Might as well be DM4.
Well, I mean, hopefully not, though, because that map is the worst.
It's the best.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm making a serious bid for it to be in the map pool for 2v2 at QuakeCon.
You're a ludicrous man, and I don't think you should have any involvement.
It'll be brilliant.
Oh. Hitting that rocket. I don't think he'll... You know, too much. There is the frag, though. Okay, 13 in a minute and a half. I'd love to say it's possible.
He's at full health.
Yeah.
But again, you know, he makes the frag and he's going, well, shit, there's no Mega, there's no red. I have to just tread water for about, you know, 10 seconds. And that can often be enough for Puffdar to grab an LG, to grab a rocket launcher and go, nah, you're not taking that.
Well, no, with the way that he's shooting, even if it's a straight-up fight where you have that massive stack advantage, you're going to eat in to the time, you're going to eat into the time he has to then spend picking up items, picking up weapons, replenishing himself so the fight doesn't go the wrong way. Because that's the thing, Puffdar, with his LG, just so fearsome. In any situation, he's going to be getting damage off. Right here, even more.
Alright, but final minute here. And yeah, I think we can call this game pretty effectively at this point. But still, I wouldn't say that that this was an utter destruction. Predator had a really good showing here, but I think the name Puffdar started to make him quake physically as well as mentally.
Yeah. Well, that will be it. I still think there's a lot of hope for Predator in the lower bracket.
I mean, the fact that this is our semifinal is kind of surprising by itself. I mean, Predator came through a lot to make it here. He was able to take down Taz, and I'm sorry to say he was able to take down 6-ounce Poo as well. Pretty soon, we'll be going into the lower bracket, and you might be able to wipe those tears away. I think 6-ounce Poo is still in it.
Gotta wipe something else away and all.
He's got to go up against Leshka.
He's dead. He's a dead man. He's in the sewers already. He's being nibbled at by rats.
Or at the very least, he's circling the drain.
Nah, he's already gone. It's not that. Circling the drain is how he lives. That's his home. That's his holiday, actually. Yeah, that noise. That was exactly what we needed at that moment. Okay, so...
Anything more appropriate, honestly? But yeah, I mean, I think the real drama in this cup is really going to come from the lower bracket, which we're going to be hitting here pretty soon. We still have one more upper bracket semifinal. I'm not sure if we saw that delayed or not.
Yeah,
I'm still
Liquids
seeing it not
versus
quite
User.
updated and finished in the bracket.
But I cannot see it on TV either, so maybe it hasn't started to. Oh no, there it is. WDM 15 user bunch of numbers versus Merc Liquid. Bunch of numbers. Okay, right at the end, you actually need to jump in here. It's 4 to 5. User trailing. 2 minutes and 30 on the clock. WDM 15. It's all to play for. User
Keep
player.
my eyes on Liquid here, as he's got Mega, he's got Armor, he's got, you know, one of the better stacks you can expect to hold on to for any appreciable amount of time on this map. And this LG is going to be absolutely nasty, especially as User is not really doing anything to dish out an equivalent amount of damage against Liquid there.
Well, he got on the red, and that was all very well and good, but when he was there, he couldn't fight with anything. Rockets were his best option. Sadly, a pretty terrible option. No LG
Liquid's
for
actually
him.
playing this quite a bit more aggressively than we saw Puffdar just playing. Puffdar was relatively respectable in that match, but here, Liquid just wants to go all out and take User down. Working out any amount of admin rage he has.
It's like, this teaches you to pick WDM 17. Stomp you into dust.
Well,
We do need a bit more.
Just yet. Yeah, I mean, we've still got a minute and a half, and 3 frags is certainly within the realm of possibility, but he's got Mega, he's got, what, no rocket launcher and only rails and riot gun. I'm not really liking what he's getting himself into here. I mean, he's able to take away a rocket launcher, but has to go down to the bottom of the map for it, and ends up taking a rocket directly to the face for his trouble. But he's able to get away with this red armor, so I'm not really sure what Liquid is doing right now. He's got pretty much all the control and everything to play for here, and he's kind of being a little bit more passive against User right now. Went out the teleporter, he ends up taking a rail, and now he's on the run here. User's on the chase, but how effectively can he chase here? Well, that is a wall.
That's a wall indeed.
Yeah.
You know what would have been better if he wasn't next to that wall, but it was instead round the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he could agree with you there.
And he can't even live to get onto that Mega. I think he himself feels defeated, and perhaps he will literally, mathematically, and come on, roll a three, definitively have been bested. There we go. User, our admin, will not abuse his power anymore in the upper bracket. I see, because we were streaming that, he didn't DQ Liquid. He's probably DQ'd everyone else.
Well, he's not sparing with the numbers at the numbers named. He's not sparing with the G's either. We got multiples of those coming out. Couldn't damage when I needed it. Couldn't phase through a wall when I needed it, more like.
Yeah, he needed to be a ghost. Sadly, he is not a ghost.
So that means our upper bracket final is going to be Puffdar and Liquids. We started the upper bracket with a view of Liquids, and we're going to end it as well.
So he's moving forward. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. And of course, I think the big question, really, Puffdar versus Liquid is cool. Don't get me wrong. But I want to see how the loser of that does versus Leshka as well, who is moving on. He's bested 6 ounce poo. Now versus Oizo, I want to catch that if at all possible. And it is going on WDM2 currently. Yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. Oh no, it's a stomp. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Oizo is being demolished, 12 to -1. But the upper bracket final, you're right, that does exist and is good.
Well, we will see. All right, we got Liquid in the same server here, so.
Okay. Let's have a look at that. I'm intrigued what's happened to Oizo. Because, what was the match we saw him come up big? It was the first match we saw of him.
Would have been a really.
Yeah, it was. That was exactly it. I was really impressed. No, I wouldn't expect him to beat Leshka, but I also wouldn't expect him to lose to User. So maybe that was just kind of a one-off, a bit of a fluky game, or maybe I'm overrating O'Reilly. Either way, looks like he will be dropping out. It's a tough run, you know, whenever you meet Leshka. There's very few people in the world, never mind in this tournament, that are going to feel good about that one.
Indeed, and we're just looking for Puffdar and Liquid to hop in their server so we can follow along. Gonna be in Callvote Duel 0.
Apparently so.
Cool, cool. Thought so. I'm in there right now.
I will jump in. If I join the right one. Oh, that's called Callvote Duel 0. I've been played like a fiddle. But it wasn't the one. It's this one. Or not. No. Alright. So everyone obviously going to be enjoying the wonderful entertainment that is me jumping around servers.
It's a great demonstration of Warsow's built-in TV functionality. It's fantastic.
Oh, it really is. I don't understand how this isn't in other games.
Did you know that Warsow was one of the first games to have a built-in coin flip?
I did not. No, I thought that was... I think I just take that for granted, being in most of the Quakes. Oh. No, it's very interesting what this game has done. In more ways than one.
Oh, yeah.
Liquid keeps on teasing me. He jumps into my server and then leaves. Now he's back. Maybe the endless nightmare will end. Are we good? Are we going to get a game? Perhaps? Got all my fingers crossed. Gonna have a Leibniz? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a Leibniz. So you entertain the masses.
Alright. Hello, masses. Alright, I'm hopping around myself. We found ourselves in Duel 1, and just like GMT, I'm dismayed to see him leaving as well. So we're just hunting players at this point. I wouldn't mind one of those myself, actually.
It is excellent. It's a very simple biscuit. It's just a layer of chocolate and a layer of biscuit, but very high quality, very enjoyable.
I feel like a digestive guy. Chocolate would just be too luxurious for me.
Yeah, you live on a diet of potatoes, digestives, and flour. Not cooked, not put in anything, just flour.
With a spoon.
I was thinking with your hands would be worse.
We're not barbarians.
Eating raw flour. Well, I guess, no, you wouldn't be able to be a barbarian and have flour at all, so that holds up. Just
Well,
a slightly
somebody.
deranged person. Oh, is Liquid... Liquid has settled down.
Yeah.
Him and the missus.
He seems to be making a statement here.
Here we go.
Yeah. There's Puffdar. To save us. Keep forgetting I can't talk to them.
Yeah, sometimes that's wonderful. Other times rather frustrating.
Yeah.
I do hate that when people assume casters are admins as well. You're left in a very awkward situation.
Well, you get that as well. Yeah, it's the worst.
Or you just
I take
go
great
with the
pride in
flow.
not being an admin.
There is the alternative, though, of just having a power trip.
Yeah.
Just pretending.
I had
Use
one
your
of those
powers.
once, but it ended up being a bad trip, so never again.
That was weak.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give it to you straight. I think you'll appreciate the honesty.
Oh, absolutely.
'Cause we all need to better ourselves. We all need to improve and find our niche. And honestly, Jahar, I think the puns, they're not working for you today.
Yeah, it wouldn't be I wouldn't honestly mind if you killed my niche.
It's just going from bad to worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Just, is that it? We're digging our own graves. We got halfway now. Let's keep going.
Oh, you're incredibly optimistic if you think the beginning of the lower bracket is halfway.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, best of
We're just
3
getting
from
started.
here on out. This is not
just
as
a
far in
teaser.
as you think. Oh, this is nearly as bad as TI4. Where it was on the second
because
day.
our game has a fucking time limit.
No, the issue with TI4, it was the format of how they played the matches on stage. So by day 2, you had a finalist of a 5-day live event. It was terrible. TI5, it was on like day 4 at least, or it might have been day 3. That's still pretty bad. So we are going to have a finalist after this. Of course, your money's going to be on Puffstar, I'm sure.
Well, that's where the smart money is.
Given what I've
See how
seen,
Liquid holds up.
I'd agree. And then, of course, all eyes.
Now, then
on
again,
the
I don't
lower.
know how active Puffdar has been as of late. He hasn't shown up in the previous cups. Not for Callvote, anyway.
We've seen him play, though. We've seen him play. I thought, you know, maybe he doesn't look like the Puffdar of old. Maybe your standard's very different, but he did look impressive.
Honestly, it'll be very difficult to say until we see him play in 5. That's sort of the real stomping grounds. But for a long time in Warsow, I mean, there was always one guy who was just that much better than everybody else, but they were never really part of the scene all at the same time. I mean, before Puffdar, there was Low, and I don't know what happened to him. Presumably, he got his head cut off. There can be only one or something.
It was Highlander. Maybe it should be the Sith rule of 2. And now, of course, the Ultimate Emperor, His Eminence, Kerpel, who has truly ascended. I can't believe that. How sad is it that Kerpel hasn't turned up on the day Puffdar has?
They must obviously be the same person. That's the only thing I can come up with.
No, they've just all got a Steam group where they're conspiring against Warsow. For whatever reason, after a few years in, you know, they've harvested a bitter contempt towards it, and they're trying to destroy it in all ways that they can. By giving us terrible finals, and not by facing each other.
Interesting that you think that has a more pronounced effect than not having it on Steam.
Vote now.
Yeah, no, actually, that is quite a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Vote failed.
Doesn't help, though. Doesn't help with the terrible finals where Kerpel walks in. Casting those solo is brilliant. And by casting those, I mean being silent until the game's over, because there's nothing to talk about. There's no contest.
that's why you want a soundboard. You just want some buttons to push while Kerpel wrecks.
I'm pretty sure I could just walk off. I might. Put on music. That'd be better, actually. Because there is no competition. It's like every fight he walks into, even if he misses, the opponent also misses as well. I don't know if he's got some kind of lucky rabbit's foot round his neck, but everything goes right for him. It's crazy. We're not going to see the infinite luck versus Puffdar today. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. A boy can dream. We are going to go to, what is it, WDM5 by the looks of things?
Like I was saying, this is where we might see the weighted clothing come off of Puffdar. We get to see what's underneath.
Is he like Piccolo, is he?
I don't know. Never seen him naked. I don't know if he's green.
Yeah, that was definitely what I was referring to.
Game over.
Alright. I don't know how to interpret that, actually. I'm gone on bone.
Yeah, I think Liquid summed it up.
A player called a vote.
Phone, perhaps?
I don't know what other keyboards look like, but that seems like a mighty difficult typo.
Need the Dvorak version 4 to make that typo, yeah.
Yeah. Not the most common layout among Warsow players. Or maybe it is.
Well, Low did kind of infamously tend to play on Xbox 360 controller.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Guy was an asshole.
I'm gonna ask you once more. What?
Yeah. And he still beat people.
See,
yeah,
you're
back when
saying-
we were doing King of the Hills.
See, I'm saying what, and you're saying yeah? And I don't feel like I'm understanding the situation anymore.
He would wreck people on a controller. He was just that good.
I don't think my mind can handle that.
Yeah, I certainly could. I still have trouble with it.
Well, let's ignore that then, because it's shaking my very perception of this world.
Might be best for us that he's not in this cup then.
Yes!
Search for low continues.
I feel like that would be a haunting experience. I feel like continuing would be really difficult. You know, it's just every
I
game would
haven't
be
quite
wondering.
been the same since then, actually. To be perfectly honest.
I'd say like top 3 most detrimental points in my life. That story, heroin, and once again my parents abusing me. In that order,
Both
I
of them,
think.
really?
Oh yeah,
You were
not at
lucky
the
to
same
have two
time.
parents abusing you.
Please ready up.
No, they team up on you, man.
3.
You get one holding you down, the other one giving you a purple nurple. It's awful.
You are tied for the lead.
Purple Nurple. We used to dream of purple Nurples. All right. So Liquid and Puffdar on our upper bracket final. This will at least give one of the two players an opportunity to go and grab some lunch and or dinner, as Liquid looks for an opening rail, and he ends up getting it before safely taking away both yellow armor and mega. Puffdart will have a red armor, but will be having to recover a little bit. Will be a little bit slower on the items and the weapons, as his movement is looking like he's playing maybe on a broken Xbox 360 controller, but maybe a touchpad as well. There we go.
God, that'd be
What's he
rough.
doing?
Taking the lead.
He's all good. Yeah, Liquid
See,
overstaying
I've played
his
up
welcome for
Puffdar's
sure.
movement here so much, and I'm just not seeing it just yet.
Perhaps he'll come alive as the tournament goes on. Of course, he will be fairly warm at this point.
Of course, he can move however he wants. All he needs to do now is just not ever miss with LG.
But
Right
yeah,
now,
that-
39%.
I've heard not missing with LG is quite good.
Yeah.
And I think he's proving it right now. Alright, it's a massacre. It's just ridiculous, the damage output of this guy right now.
A little bit of a
Sounding.
drive-by shotgunning as Liquid tries to get away and ends up eating yet another rail to the rear. It'll be 5-0 here as red armor's taken away, but right out through the teleporter. Puffdar is still giving chase. Liquid a little bit slow going through that second teleporter. I'm not sure what trap he was attempting to lay there, but as it stands, Puffdar no armor right now, and he should be fraggable down to 45 health. He is able to take away green, still 10 seconds away from mega health, and Liquid very ballsy coming in to grab away that yellow armor. That will keep Puffdar from being a full stack for a few more seconds at least. I'm not sure if Liquid is confident enough to make that a frag just yet, but it certainly is a good start.
A good start, and then some, I'd say. Not missing. Good strategy. Although I want to pick up on something you said. You said it was a drive-by shotgunning, and of course, I mean, you're just saying things because you're a caster. But actually, what I find so incredible and hard to understand about this, and we saw it with Taz as well, but it's incredibly noticeable with Puffdart in this game in particular. He's actually getting damaged by just standing still around a corner, and then you die. His DPS is so high that he doesn't need to chase you, because he's killing you within the range of all his weapons. It's absurd.
Everything just orbits around him. Yeah. Well, as it stands, he's again at 50 health, and he's able to take away this red armor. There's 125. Oh, I hate this in WDM5 when the 225s get split timing. But Puffdar dealing out a defensive rail, and we go back at Liquid, and we're left wondering why he's at such a low stack. But like you mentioned, anytime Puffdar just shows up, Liquid just ends up taking way more damage than you would otherwise expect.
More like, we're wondering why he's in the winner's bracket final. Am I right?
Oh, well, just wait.
I think we might be waiting some time. It is the Mega for Liquid. A certain sweet condolence to what has been a depressing, rip-roaring game. Unable
Maybe
to
I'm wrong
capitalize
here.
on
Maybe-
Puffdar being out.
Maybe I'm calling this wrong. I mean, maybe the game has changed to the point where running around like a crack fiend just isn't necessary anymore. Puffdar seems pretty well centered here. But those
Certainly
teleporter
seems-
plays, it's important as ever.
Yeah, it's a more consistent style, just this high damage output thing, and we've seen this with a few players. I want to point towards 6 Ounce Poo, maybe even Frag Stealer, maybe too early to say. But those are very active players, movement-heavy players, and they are darting around you. And maybe week to week, that's just harder to keep up. Whereas it's Kerple, it's Puffdar, the winners, the people who are taking these cups in their stride, they do it with this confidence, and really this comfortable air about it where it's just so casual.
I mean, that last play from Puffdar really did require some confidence. He was down to 9 health, wasn't bothered at all, came very close to Liquid finding him, and he was just able to casually take away that mega health. So, yeah, we've seen him recover from single-digit health points several times without getting fragged here against Liquid.
It's quite the rarity that the words nonchalant and Warsow will be said together. But this is rather nonchalant. Oh, and also it's Warsow. Don't know if you noticed.
Yeah. That's something worth stating for people who haven't watched it before. By the way, get this game, it's free.
You should get this game.
It's as good as shilling as I'm ever able to do. It's probably why Digestive hasn't hired me yet.
What I think the bigger issue is you don't even know who's making the digestives. You just referred to the conglomerate as digestive.
The Digestive Committee, right.
See, at least I'm shilling for Balson's Choco Leibniz.
DM, yeah.
Specifically Balson's. Other Choco Leibniz, I'm not interested. You can shove your biscuits where the sun don't shine.
And they fit. That's what's so great about them. By Digestives. Alright, but 1 on 12. We've seen Liquid get a single frag on the board here as we hit our halfway point. But man, what a huge spread to have here. Liquid really trying to play out the teleporters quite a bit more, but with Puffdar bouncing around the way he is, I mean, you can see Liquid having to adjust his aim, 360 degrees several times just in order to get a beat on the guy. Nice. It's a decent rocket donk there. Puffdar now running away with 30 health, and Liquid might finally start understanding that, hey, I am doing damage to him, I just need to finish him off.
What a novel idea. You know, when someone's beating you so thoroughly and so convincingly, it can get into your head that maybe they are really Neo.
Does. Yeah.
That they can phase through all of your weapons. No matter what you do, there is simply no overcoming this foe. Liquid, though, he has shown that he is a contender. And if you can win one fight, well, you can win a few. That's the way I look at it.
I don't know if you were looking at Liquid's perspective there, but as he was chasing Puffdar through that teleporter, he had a brief moment where he looked the other way and thought, nah, I'm not going to chase him. But then he said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's chase. And he's actually keeping Puffdar on tilt. This is a good change from Liquid, and it's a change that we don't usually see players kind of evolve into in the latter half, but this could be good news for him.
At the same time,
too high here.
Yeah, well, we're seeing some adaptation from Puffdar as well, whereas he was so casually nonchalant, all these words we've used before, because we haven't got the vocabulary to expand on them, walking around this map and taking fights where he saw them, not forcing them. He's now playing coy with the rail, and he's respecting his opponent's aim. So I think it's a great adaptation on both sides.
And even though it hasn't really turned into more frags for Liquid yet, oh, they're proving me wrong right there. It has certainly turned into a cessation of Puffdar's run.
Really has. He's lacking control. Right now, this fight could go either way. It does it. Wait, what? Yeah, it goes both ways. All right.
It's the great thing about Warsow. If you've gotten a frag and you have 20 health, you haven't really gotten a frag. Alright, but Puffdar waiting for this red armor. Liquid's going to give it up in favor of yellow, and not a whole lot else at this point, really. Coming in close range, but there's that... just heartbreaking LG once again coming out of Puffdar.
And you need the momentum right now. It's your lifeline. You got to hold on tight, because every time you get fragged from here on out, it means a whole lot more than adding one to the score. But that's the nasty thing. It takes away your health, it takes away all your momentum, it takes away all your hopes of fragging. But even when that's true, it still has the I'm bad on my words today.
The emotional scars are the worst to get over here.
They are. But it still has the gall to add a kill on the scoreboard as well. insult to injury. Liquid. I feel like he might be teasing himself at this point. He's taking these fights, but is there really any hope? I don't know. One more
If we were a
fight.
little bit more old school and we were playing with 15-minute rounds, this might be the turning point for Liquid, but it's a little bit too little too late as we enter our final minutes. And a 12 frag lead for Puffstar will certainly be a solid entry into, well, the upper bracket slot, at least.
I think it answers a question, that is, can anyone in this cup best Puffstar who isn't named Leshka? I don't think so. Liquid... Well, he's fought valiantly. I can't say he's done much terribly wrong, but just matching the same. I don't understand how you do it. I don't understand what strategical decisions there would have been that could possibly overcome that gap.
Puffstar has 40 LG at the end of the round.
In Warsow. Like, in Quake Live, pretty good. Like, pretty good, seriously, but absurd in this game.
Suffice to say, it's good to see Puffstar returning to these cups.
3, 2, 1.
For the first time seeing it myself,
Game over.
I think I'll join you in the rejoicing for his
The
return.
damage ratio is only 61%. Oh my god. That's not much at all. I mean,
Well,
again, there were
21-4.
several times when Puffstar was knocked down to just, barely holding on to life. He was just able to get away with it every time. Nicely done.
Okay, so it is now time for the lower bracket. We are done with the upper bracket for now. It will be Puffstar in the finals, where he will meet one of many a possible player.
It looks like we've actually progressed pretty far through the lower bracket here as well. It's got Leshka taking down Oizo. And that means that he's going to be going up against the winner of Frag Stealer versus Frag Hunter, which I think is the right place to be right now.
I was hoping we could possibly not cast that, if only because those names will drive me up the wall. Like, I once had to
All
cast...
the more reason to.
No. I once had to cast a match between an owl, AL, and an owl, OWL. That was wonderful.
Oh, that sounds dreamy.
Oh dear. It was... Well, I want them to play again. I want to do a show match. And the idea is the loser has to change their name to something less similar. I think that'd be wonderful. I think I'd be doing everyone a service. Because...
Yourself, mostly.
Well, mostly myself. Okay, right. I won't hide away from that. But also, there are other people that appreciate that, because as it stands, even just speaking to both of them in the same chat room, a headache. And not just because one of them's Scottish. Now, are these games going on? I can't see any at the moment.
There's Rapunzel and Umka going on right now, and it's actually tied 1-1 here.
Okay, I'll jump into that
17, rather.
for the moment. Although, when Leshka and potentially Frag Stealer or Frag Hunter starts, I do want to jump into that. There we are, I'm caught with the lead. First time we've seen WDM 17 for the day.
Yeah. And just to call out, Rapunzel's been able to take down Caster Killer and Angry Tetris to come up against Umka. Umka himself was in the upper bracket until he went down against Puffstar, so not a huge discredit there.
No, no shame. No shame in that at all. At all.
But it does look like they're playing in Null Pickup 2.
Are they? Okay.
Frag Stealer and Frag Hunter, I'm being told.
Alright. I'll try and jump over to that.
I'm literally being told in every single medium that that's where they're going, so I'm gonna bank on that right now.
Yeah.
Even though there's nobody there at the moment.
Some snail mail. You got some real posts. You got a telegram yet?
Well, not yet, obviously. It'll be here.
Yeah, you get that one in a couple days. Oh, by the way, Frag Stealer and Frag Hunter, Null 1 pick up 2.
Yep, got it.
And of course, they do have to hire British people to do the telegrams. It would just be wrong otherwise. I haven't seen Frag Hunter before. Now, Stealer, a personal favourite of mine. In the last cup, he made waves. Every time he got thrown around, it was by the skin of his teeth. Couldn't be closer. He was bested only the end by the supreme lord of the game, Kerpel, if memory serves. I'm, as I said, surprised he went down to the lower brackets so early, even given the game that we saw. So, love him to advance there. And if not, maybe Frag Hunter's the real treasure. A diamond in the rough. Always fun to watch two people that are in the same clan probably play with each other quite a lot.
Oh, yeah. Quite a lot.
1.
I'm not sure if it was originally a bomb clan, but these guys ran a lot of bomb cups.
You have lost the lead.
At least 4. But we haven't had a bomb cup in quite some time. I'm sure we'll have another bomb cup when we get our Steam release. But yeah, these guys are going to be pretty deeply inside each other's heads. But right now it's Fragzero, who's a little bit deeper than Hunters at this point in terms of control and frags.
Certainly will be answered back very quickly. A direct when you're just on 21 HP. Can't say fairer than that. On the ropes, and it is tenuous. I can't believe he's still alive, and perhaps even more surprising than that, he is yet to pick up any HP. He might get a red here, but it won't do him too much good. You see him fall right there, not picking up that rail. It looked bad for Frag Hunter, but on that Mega. And with
Oh, they're
a
actually
wily
brothers.
escape.
I never knew that.
That's what
I
I
don't know if
heard.
anybody's ever told me that before. Okay, I'll stop with the deep inside each other puns then, for the sake of taste, if nothing else.
Or we go even more ham on the deep inside puns. Oh no, because then we'd have that thing. You know, on Twitch, you go on certain ones and it says, "Are you over 18?" We might get that. Oh well, nobody plays these games that isn't old as fuck anyway. Apart from me. I think I'm the youngest one. I'm the baby.
Oh, then that's another badge of honor you can proudly wear there.
What do you mean another? It's like the only thing I've got going for me. I'm gonna outlive you all! Unless I eat all of these delicious Leibniz.
Alright, well, Frag Stealer currently up 5-on-1. Frag Hunter looking to play a little bit defensively with his 1 rocket and his 1 bolt. He's looking a little bit extra hopeful there as he's taking away a little bit more EB. Looking for the jump to the 50 health. Couldn't quite get it the first round. Fortunately, that second time is going to be relatively safe, as Frag Stealer will be stealing away the red armor and then just leaving it. And look at the speed he's got right now. He is on the prowl.
Yeah.
Looking for his bro.
This is the Frag Stealer I know and love. Player with such pace. He is a ferocious sight to behold. I don't think I've ever seen a game of his anywhere below a 10 frag either way scoreline, because he just takes fight after fight after fight with a disregard for human, robot, and swine life. He's a vicious person.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, a lot of Warsow players actually do like to play with the pad pork model. One thing I've never understood. Right now, good fight going down here as Frag Stealer manages to pull together number 6 as Hunter actually spawns on the 50 health. Gets quite a bit of damage done with the gunblade, but wants to leave it up right now. Doesn't really know where he wants to be. That jump pad is going to be plan A, but it might not last long here. But Mega Health is going to be back up, and he still doesn't have any weapons here. That's the problem. He doesn't want weapons. He wants a rocket launcher, I guess. Okay.
I've heard that is a weapon.
It can be, in the right hands.
Yeah, silly NASA.
In the wrong hands, it's just a cooking implement.
Are you making popcorn?
That could be.
Is that what overdone popcorn would be? It goes too far. You send it so far you can't retrieve it. That'd be a quick way of doing a scavenger hunt if you just blew everything out.
I don't know. I don't have any class, so it is needed anyway. Alright, by 8-on-1 here. Stealer just, ironically enough, hunting down Frag Hunter.
Huh.
Pretty consistently here.
But he is stealing them away. Thank the Lord, because if that wasn't true, there would be something gravely wrong.
I'm not sure if he's stealing so much as just taking free frags here.
You are taking a life, though, and you get something out of it. I'm going to say it's stealing.
Potentially incriminating phrases, yeah.
And it just, alright. Apparently you don't need to fire your weapons at all. Fragstealer on that Mega, all the same after taking a dreadful engagement. It will eat into his stack, but not into his lead just yet. It's still the red for him.
It gives me some amount of hope seeing players at this skill level still fumbling on the 50 health jump from time to time. Makes me feel marginally better.
Don't fool yourself, Jahar. Your parents did so much damage, you'll never get self-esteem back.
That is true.
You'd need a life of 150 years long to repair that damage.
I'll just have some kids of my own and pass on the torch, as it were.
And maybe... Can you beat a child with a torch?
Be damned if I don't try. Alright, but halfway through, and I'm wondering how much life Hunter has left in him as we're looking at 11 on 1. Oof. Well, this is a good round for him, but unfortunately it means that he's putting himself in the bottom of the map, and again, I don't care what your stack is, I don't care what the score line is, you're never gonna win a fight there.
With a mountain to climb, Frag Hunter. Well, what can he do here? What's his edge? I haven't seen it just yet.
Well, presumably walk over into the other room and pull the plug.
Yeah, well, that was mentioned in chat. Pull his mouse out. I'd love to see it, but maybe he's taking the high road. Maybe he's going to try and win with honor and self-respect. Frag Hunter back on the board. 2-12. It's a gap. It's a big one, but not insurmountable.
I don't know, what's more telling to me at this point is the fact that the glacial movement of the scoreline hasn't really budged. I mean, Steeler just keeps getting away with them, and Hunter, I mean, he can barely get away with this red armor here. Nice rail though, but again, these drop downs to the bottom, it's not doing him any good. Now, I am a little skeptical of the notion that that they're in the same house because Steeler has a ping of 31. Frag Hunter's consistently had about another 10 milliseconds on him.
Alright, maybe one's on a power line adapter, one's plugged in on LAN.
And they're just at opposite ends of the house.
Big house, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, how big?
Hunter.
10 milliseconds. That'd be a big house.
Just back of the napkin mathematics later.
Yeah, maybe they live in a
Steeler
sewer.
was just staring at that Mega Health, willing it to come into existence, but instead he got a rail for his trouble. This might be a good opportunity for Hunter to get a little something out of it. Maybe.
It's not what you want. I mean, a rail, is it better than a kick in the teeth? No, I don't think so. Maybe there is hope here for Hunter. It's just such toiling, slow work, and Fragstealer's making him do that, you know. It's all about the damage he's putting out. It's about how evasive he's being. And you leave an opening like that, he's gonna pounce.
I think it's just basic don't go to the jump pad stuff.
Yeah. And really, he's been put out there one too many times for my liking.
Alright, so just a couple minutes left here, and again, I don't think we're seeing much of a budge here in the pacing of the battle.
I think we all know who the favorite son is in that family.
Winner of this match gets to eat tonight. Yeah.
The winner of this match gets to eat the other one tonight.
And interesting to note, Lechka's sort of sitting on the sidelines here watching this one. He's looking for the winner of this match. I'm not sure if this is map 1 or map 2. I'm presuming this is map 1.
Off the top of my head, I would assume it's map 1, if only because we were told to join at a certain point and it was just starting. But we didn't get map vetoes.
They waited for us. How nice is that?
Oh, well, on the one hand, I want to go to bed at some point. But on the other, yeah, I do like watching Fragstealer. You know, he's one of these players that even if he's losing, even if he's dominating, no matter what end of the spectrum it may be, just watching him work is a real treat. There's this real pizzazz and showmanship to it.
I'm sure his brother's assisting as well. Yeah, final minute. 20 on 4. That pretty much tells the story of this match.
It certainly does. It was from minute 1, really. Steelers' game to lose. And you can see that there is a wee gap between these two.
Not taking that bait. Just not willing to do that.
It's your loss.
Yeah. Alright, but it leaves me wondering what map 2 is going to end up being. Hopefully we get to see some more 14 today. I don't think we've actually seen a full match on 14 yet today. I'd love to.
14? 14 is not in the pool.
Oh, 17.
Yes, 17. So 2, 5...
That's not the number.
Game over.
It's 2, 5,
Once the
10,
numbers
15,
get past
17.
10, I start to get a little foggy.
Oh, well, you only have to deal with 2. 15 and 17. That would be cool to see 17. 10 as well. It's been mostly DM2, DM5. 1 DM15, I remember. Map variety. Always a little bit less than you'd hope.
Goes
for
to
in these
show
kind
that
of
you
cups.
really just need, when you're making these map pools, if you're going to do eclectic maps, they all need to be eclectic.
Yeah, well, that is the thing. As far as I'm aware, DM2 is one of the most popular maps. So
Full Kenya is the only Kenya.
Did I miss something? Or are you just... What was that?
What
Full
was what?
Kenya? What are you talking about?
Oh, right. I keep forgetting you're a young one.
Damn right.
It's a quick world term for maps that aren't part of the normal DM pool. And yeah, 20 plus years on, and maps are still referred to as Kenya if they're not DM2, DM4, DM6, or ZTN or Arrowwalk. That's it.
Please
That's like the
ready up.
5-map pool of maps that are acceptable maps in Quake World that aren't something else.
I can get behind that. But I really am far too young to be understanding any of this. You know, Jahat, this isn't how you court a younger man.
I'm happy to know
Please
that.
ready up.
If I can learn one thing, it's how not to do that.
It's not... No, you don't bring up Quake World terms. It's
Oh,
turned me
it's,
right off.
Either that was the second map, or Hunter's forfeiting out. I'm already raging.
Well, I wouldn't blame him.
Please
I'm
ready
sure
up.
he knows his brother's capabilities. Well, I mean, he could be... One of them might be a girl. I'm just going to assume not.
One. Fight.
Might get in trouble like we did earlier, though.
Tie for the lead.
Well, it looks like we're going to be moving into Leshka, our seed at number 2.
Frank
Or would have
Steeler.
been seed number 2 if he made it in a little bit earlier. But yeah, that title does indeed go over to Frag Steeler, so a lot to play for here. Anything could and probably will happen, including a suicide in the first 2 seconds, as Frag Steeler is now grenading the hell out of that mega health as he goes in for the grab. But he's going to be a little bit lighter on other weapons. He's got 1 rocket to bring to this red armor fight, and he makes good use of it, dodging out Leshka's rocket as well. And this is going to be a brawling match here.
Leshka is usually, at least among the very top tier of players, I find slower, perhaps a better word, methodical. But WDM2 is WDM2, and when you're up against Frag Steeler, you have to fight fire with fire. Right there.
Well, right now, he's fighting it with LG and making good use of it. As Frag Steeler getting away with that red armor is not getting away with much else. Again, he's barely been able to pick away any weapons here for all the items he's getting. And so weapon control, just like in Quake Live, is fairly difficult in Warsow, but so far, Leshka is pulling him off of a lot of these weapon spawns. Or
Very
even
good
baiting out a grenade launcher. How cheeky is that? Frag Steeler getting knocked down 12 health and can't even get the 50 health. Getting knocked on down, tying it back up 0-0. But now Leshka's starting to gain a bit of a momentum here.
And you see, there's the exuberance from Frag Steeler to dart in on that mega, hopeful to say the least. It's the ride or die mentality he has.
Making some incredibly clean rails as well. As Red Armor comes back up, and Frag Steeler can't really enter in on it, and in fact he's regretting even going in for the green armor. As Leshka takes his 5th frag in a row.
Where will it end? That's the question Fragstealer will be asking as he turns around. One direct. Not so bad, but things are slipping away from him bit by bit. Major item, always nice.
Leshka taking that mega health away with only 2 HP. Always a little bit risky. I mean, for one thing, you don't really get that much out of the mega health, and for another thing, it's a incredibly vulnerable place to put yourself, but he was able to get away with it. Fragstealer still up top, still having to be incredibly conservative with his approaches on Leshka here. He's like, oh, you want in on the red armor? All right, just you go ahead and do that then.
He walks away from the mega hit. Could that cost him? No, and he... Oh, I was so scared he was going to fall out, but it's still bad. Anyway, locked in a corridor, the rockets connect. One more, the job is done.
Almost literally like shooting a fat kid in a barrel.
Yeah.
And again, the wait for the red armor here is going to be kind of disastrous for Fragstealer. Down to 1 health, and the gravity would have done the job if Leshka had.
Once again on 2 HP remaining. Fragstealer, does he have an inkling? I think he did. Goes for the rail, but a crucial. Perhaps. Oh, another miss. No way. No way. What is this? Leshka is getting away with murder right now, quite literally. As Fragstealer off the mark by not even inches. We can't go Imperial. It was millimeters each and every time. Rail, rocket, and rail again.
Well, he is indeed getting away with murder here. I think even OJ Simpson would be impressed, but Fragstealer now looking at a pretty good stack, but no, the jump pad! Why is it always the jump pad? I'm sure he was screaming in agony there.
I think the whole Frag family was of a bitter love affair. Bittersweet, rather, love affair with the jump pad, so it would seem.
They're well loved by the community, though. They're a lovely bunch of frags. Oh, Fragstealer's already calling GG halfway through.
Well, he doesn't hit, apparently.
I keep forgetting to factor that into Warsow Cup specifically. You keep thinking, okay, well, the lower bracket's going to be such a slog, but you keep forgetting how many forfeits there are as we come up towards the point here.
It's always going to happen. It's always going to... It's the Arena FPS way.
I can't even be all that mad about it.
No, well, you're numb, aren't you? So many years of this each and every time. It's not as... What was... There was an event where... what was it? Someone basically got into the money, and then they forfeited. And then they said, give the money away to someone else. To which the tournament goes, can I just give you the money and then you give it? But no, it's all complicated and you don't know what's going on. That's the nice thing about no prize pool.
Completely within their rights to say, and I'm sure it's coming from a good place. But man, it makes everything confusing and anticlimactic.
It really is. Perhaps we'll have a climax. That was a nice one. Climax here on WDM 17. Finally, it makes an appearance. This is its full game debut, and what a game it is to debut in Leshka already. Starting off in explosive form and fashion. It's the frag for him, worse for wear, of course, but on the Mega, this yellow as well, he'll be in fighting fit shape in no time.
Yeah, the heat map for damage really does sort of center around the red armor here. This upper area where Leshka is right now gives him quite the opportunity to kind of be a vulture and look for Fragstealer and drop down at will and make this fight happen. But here in the Mega Health room, you see a lot of damage traded from across the room, but usually not so many frags, not even on the Mega Grab, strangely enough. But it's really the red armor where all the random hijinks happen.
Leshka's done well there, dropping low, but backing on to a red and a 50 after some, I would argue, very shaky LG. With the high ground there, can't make anything of it. Fragstealer up the jump pad. It's not the approach you'd favour, but in any case, the frag is his.
A good time for him to make a frag, but not a whole lot for him to grab. Leshka gets away with that yellow armor regardless, and here's the 225s, and they each get one. So, unfortunately, that keeps them from being split up. Maleshka getting away with that second frag, as well as Mega Health. 3 seconds to Red Armor. He's got Riot Gun and Gunblade, and at this point I'm actually wondering which is the more lethal to Frag Stealer, as they're going to be chasing each other around this pillar, leaving that Red Armor open, and it looks like Lechka can even make the conversion from yellow to red, which is dangerous for Frag Stealer right now. But no, we heard the Red Armor taken away, and one thing to note about Warsow, which I think is just an excellent point of polish here, each armor type has its own unique sound effect for the pickup.
What a game.
What a game.
If only they had a better announcer.
If only.
Be the cherry on top.
I'm actually honestly surprised that they haven't, thrown $5 at somebody off the street and gotten somebody better.
Frag Stealer with a vengeance right now. He's done a fantastic job, and it's been rail after rail after rail. I think that's 4 in a row. Make it 5. The Gunblade coming out. The melee battle, though, not for him. Playing Chivalry, Medieval Warfare, apparently not something he's done very much.
Yeah. Again, if you've made a frag and you only have 25 health, you haven't really made a frag. Alright, but Lechka, top of the map, able to take away a bit of armor. Ooh, nice bit of plasma coming out of Frag Stealer in order to defend the Mega Health platform, but he's a little bit too early to be there and can't really afford to hold it down any longer. So Frag Stealer is going to be giving it up here, popping through the teleporter, which leaves him a little bit nervous, but finds Lechka anyway, low on health. He's able to make the frag, but not the grab for the Mega. He's able to take a rail off of him at the very least, but Lechka, I'm actually kind of surprised he went in for the rocket launcher instead of the red armor, but he's going to be coming back in, going for the drop, and still completely blocking out Frag Stealer from getting anything on the map, including frags.
Tied for the lead.
Oh, the anti-conversions. Well, I think, every time you see them, they seem dramatic, they seem amazing, they seem so exciting, and yet it really has become the norm. In this game, at the very least, Lechka on that Mega. Perhaps, for the first time, someone's going to be able to cement some sort of control over this map, some sort of a placement, because at the moment, it's 2 people running at each other with weapons, doing their best, and very occasionally picking up items. Lechka, though, with a clean frag, might be able to stake his case. Stake his claim, rather. But even so much damage there, 12 HP, what's he going to do? Is he going to be able to jump on the red, the Mega? Mega's too far away. And he's terrified. The red, it's nice. Of course, you've stolen it, but you're dead. And this Frag Stealer with a stack going on in. Riot Gun versus LG. Actually, pretty favorable for the Riot Gun, usually.
Yeah, and that was a clean frag for him as well, allowing him to enjoy the bulk of that bonus from the Mega Health. So this is a huge opportunity for momentum from Frag Stealer. He really did need to get that frag on the Mega Health platform in order to have anything going. He only had the green armor to give him an advantage, but it was enough.
Oh, no.
Frag Stealer, good damage on the rockets, but man, this Riot Gun is going to knock him down to 9 health. You can see he's a little bit shaky here, but fortunately, that 50 will calm his nerves a little bit here.
These players right now are looking so good. Frag Stealer hits 2 rails, unable to pair it up with the third, pushing on forward. Now it's the grenade launcher, though, and unable to connect despite being so low. Lechka returns the favor, and he has that lead once again, even if it is on a knife's edge, as it seems to be at all times here on WDM 17.
And it looks like both of these players, honestly, are taking a bit of an inhale-exhale. They're not exactly avoiding each other here, but they're trying to get some safe items. They're trying to set up. We have a little bit of a peak fight from around the corner, but not a whole lot of commitment there. That does allow Lechka to get away with another red.
Those long-range rockets were sick. That was about 50 damage on one, and I want to say about 40 on the other. It's a direct that time. LG coming out, so close to a finish, but he misses the rail. Eats one himself, and now a movement flub, unable to get onto those 25s, and I'm not too sure he knows where he wants to go.
I mean, honestly, Frag Stealer was in a shitty spot there, being trapped up by the green armor, but man, his consistent railguns were just enough to keep Lechka from pushing in.
Lechka's heard you, and he wants that title himself. Plasma does the job nicely. What a scrappy game this is.
Sit and wait even for a green armor. Yeah, the resources are so hotly contested here. Unless you're coming in for the red armor a little bit late. Nice little bit of a Goomba stomp there from Frag Stealer. Able to get away from that Atrium with hardly any damage taken at all, stabbing back out with the rail himself. And now, even though he's under Leshka, oh, misses kind of a critical one, but Leshka
Oh,
misses
no,
the
he
jump
misses
as
the
well.
goal.
Oh, jeez.
That was good. He kills himself. I mean, surely that's gonna rumble you. He can't be feeling good right now because an opportunity lost. Disappointing, but a complete and utter collapse from Leshka. Fragstealer might turn it into more. Looks for that rail. Doesn't find it. The second, though, right on the way to glory.
He has certainly woken up, and he's rocking right now about 52, 53% railgun, 55 actually. And looking at Leshka, I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not even hitting 30 with that 28. I mean, this is kind of a tough map to land consistent rails on. You have a lot of verticality, you have a lot of really tight angles, but certainly not a problem for Fragstealer here.
It simply does not matter for him. He's going to hit it no matter what. You must have thought I was crazy. Previous games today. Fragstealer looking good. Not too far astray from ordinary, though. Right now, you're seeing the star quality that he has. Cast a curse. Can't even walk over an item. Alright. But out from the
Warsow
teleport.
does have infamously small item hitboxes.
And apparently they are actually bigger than they used to be.
Oh, they are, yeah.
That's just silly. Fragstealer caught out and does go down. Oh. Couldn't make it work.
Wouldn't even would have thought that would have been worthwhile to try to make work, but Fragstealer's still enjoying a 2-frag lead with 2 minutes left on the clock. That's nowhere near enough to bank on. As Leshka's looking for a way in, the pancakes and LG might be enough to keep him at arm's length, but for how long?
And that's the thing. Fragstealer does need to make a decision here if he's going to play defensive or if he's going to play his game as he has been for the last 8.5 minutes. With the high ground over that red. No damage, though. No damage at all.
So quite a long time before either Mega or Red. We have a yellow to play for, but Fragstealer is not in a great position for it, and he's wondering if he should hold down the barrel, but again, just 2 frags is not enough to justify that, especially when your opponent certainly has already heard you. So now that's a 1 frag, as Fragstealer, you know, loses his sight and looks at that barrel and thinks maybe I could just be Solid Snake for a minute. But that'll tie it back up to 12 to 12.
There's it. Oh, Leshka. Oh, you doing wonderful things to me right now, Leshka. Because he's turned it on. He's stopped missing. He's stopped playing about. Fragstealer isn't saying goodbye just yet.
I can't believe we're seeing this, actually.
This
Quite
is
happy about it.
this is like 2 rodents fighting each other. You know, they're so fast the human eye can't quite perceive it, and it's this scrap. No massive chunks are being taken out of one another. Neither is able to cement themselves on this map, and even when they do, they get shut down instantly because they're both so goddamn accurate. Leshka's more accurate there. And on the top, it's going to be another one. 16 seconds all that remains. And this is so key. No, Fragstealer, no.
Yeah, I would have argued he actually could have made better use of those last 20 seconds. He had time to not drop down with 5 health. Wow. Wow. What a match. Watching 2 rodents fight, though?
No, so you know when really small animals like squirrels, that they move in this weird way that seems too fast? Like their motions, and when they flip at each other, you know, the really quick things like their jaws,
Sure.
and when they roll about. Yeah?
Right.
Like a ferret? Like, you know a ferret? You're American.
Yeah, but we don't usually make them fight each other.
Well, no, you don't. But if they did, you know what I mean? It's that motion. It's the
watching-
constant twirling about, and it's just this.
Watching rats fight make the plague a little bit easier to bear.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've got the plague anyway, and
I
there
mean,
was no.
incrementally.
Yeah.
It's a non-zero, man.
You you can't avoid the plague. You've got the plague. Might as well be around the rats. And if you're going to be around the rats, well, what else are you going to do with them? You can't eat them. Let's have a bit of a gladiatorial arena
What's the
going
worst
on.
that could happen? You've already got the plague.
Exactly. It's a zero-sum game. There's no going wrong there. Unless you avoid the rats. It's the worst thing you could do. Anyway, that's Fragstealer out. Very unfortunate for Leshka to have been seeded into the losers bracket based on a late sign-up. And that will end his run early, whereas maybe it could have gone 1-2 round more. In any case, the reality we are presented with is Leshka versus Predator coming up next.
By the way, this is the worst map to go to a break on, because anytime you stop talking, all anybody can hear is the whirling of that fan.
But I need to stop talking. I need to go turn a light on.
Oh,
It's just... Wait, I'll get us copyright strike. Don't worry. I'll get some music on. I'll ruin the VOD.
It wouldn't be one of these
I'm ruining
cuts
the
if we
VOD.
didn't
It'll be
talk
fine.
about the fan. That
Be
fan
fine.
is just the best thing in Warsow.
Alright, no, new idea. I'm going to mute both of us and they can just have the fan until the next game. We'll be back in a bit.
Pap, 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 pap.
Alright, we're back. I ballsed up. But that's okay.
Only by a minute.
Only by a minute.
We're alright.
Hey, anyone complains about that, you can get banned. Cut us some slack. Rather cut me some slack. Don't cut your heart any slack. Predator on 1 HP, scrambling for his life right now. You can see it in his movement, clearly shaken. Shaking
And that really is
like
telling
a twig.
at these stages of the game. You know, being able to watch people's mouse movement and then Crater. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. If he wasn't shaken before, I think he might be now, because you've just thrown away a frag for no good reason at all. Still, that fight starts off okay with the LG. The red fight over, they say. He'll be evacuating shortly. I have a dog trying to get into my room. I should probably go sort that out.
Just don't tell PETA. Alright, but we got 2 on -1 here. Predator looking for a way back in. A couple rails will be a good start. 3 rails, in fact, leaving Leshka with only 23 health after that frag. Mega health will help a bit. Yellow armor would as well, and Predator just watches his window for opportunity shut down as Leshka refills himself. Predator, in the meantime, has not been able to get anything. No red, hardly any weapons. He's got LG, rockets, and rails, which is technically all you need, but some armor would certainly be good, and he's looking for an armor that will not be spawning anytime soon.
Unable to make magic happen there. Caught out though, doesn't choose to engage, and I feel like Leshka got off light. Now just 39 HP, but no push coming forward, so it will be his Mega in trade. Nothing just yet. Predator unfortunately unable to find much health on the ground, and due to that has wasted time. Cannot get a position on the red either.
Yeah, being in the down position on this map means you need to play incredibly slow. I mean, this is a kind of a weird map where the top player can also dominate the physical top of the map. I mean, you've got 50 health, you've got Mega, you've got yellow armor, you've got red armor, and then down at the bottom you really just have table scraps.
It was especially rough because the 25 bubbles were down. Luckily, the bosom, the warm, inviting bosom of the 25 bubbles there invites him in. I just said invite it. Oh my god, it's falling apart.
Some real 34 I've never conceptualized before. Thank you for that.
Hey,
nice
man,
plasma coming out of Predator.
I wasn't pushing you in that direction at all. Frag Stealer apparently on a 6-month break.
But Leshka's actually out of rockets. He's able to grab a few more here, and is damaging himself quite a bit. So actually, stack-wise, they're not all that off each other. But as Leshka pulls away that red armor, Predator is left with 1 health, and Leshka handily helps him down to that 0 point.
Predator with a direct grenade and another that does its fair share of damage. Jumping over. It is still Leshka with a fairly severe stack lead, but now without any rockets, a fight could happen. Predator buffets him away. Confirms that red. Makes his way, quite leisurely really, over to this Mega. Would have been safer if he had just a spring in his step more, even so.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is his
Leshka
map for the
being
time being.
seeded this way and being dropped down to the lower bracket immediately is really made for an interesting bracket, a little chaotic.
Well, and obviously for someone like Fragsteel, if someone like Predator, it's a damn shame, but... Well, I don't think anyone's really done anything wrong. It's quite the challenge for them, though. It's the difference between a loser's final and a loser's semi. Because this is a titan of the game. This is top 2, maybe top 3, at worst top 4. A favourite, or near enough in almost every cup he answers.
And we've seen Predator do some amazing work to bring himself here. But yeah, Leshka certainly on point here so far. You always wonder how warmed up these guys are going to be. But at least when it comes to Warsow players, I mean, they can go quite a long time without a cup, or from what I can tell, without a whole lot of scrims either. And then they show up, and then it's like they never left.
Yeah, I think that's got to be down to, I don't know, it's such a, maybe not talent, but it's a very simple game in terms of...
Right.
The decision making is there, but what we're really looking at in the top level players and what we're marveling at is their mechanical ability, which is going to fade much more slowly.
It could be said, maybe a little unfairly, that as your speed goes up in Warsow, the decisions that you have to make go down a little bit. Because then you could just make multiple decisions at once.
Who doesn't love doing that? Protoss players, that's who.
Yeah, I was waiting for the StarCraft reference.
Well, it had to come out at some point.
Yeah.
I've run out of other things to say, you see. So. That's it. You've expended all of my knowledge. Everything I know is gone. And now we're going to talk about Ling Ravager strength and ZVP. At the moment, not bad at all. I digress.
I literally just fell asleep and woke back up.
All right. Okay, it's Warsow. What's going on? One thing I want to talk about in this game, and no, I'm the host, mate. And especially of Predator's performance versus Leshka and why it's so valiant is this hasn't been a massive stomp. Leshka isn't just destroying him. It's every fight is somewhat close. Of course, he's consistently being bested, but the margin isn't that great, and I think the scoreline presents us with a very different story to the one you're seeing in-game.
Absolutely. Yeah, Predator has been doing his best to slow down the game, but he's got to go back for that yellow armor. All right, there you go. But yeah, like I mentioned, this is a tough one to play from the bottom because you literally have to play from the bottom. Nice jump there. And then once you sneak your way up top, I mean, you do afford yourselves a lot of opportunities just to lay in a bunch of damage, but you end up getting yourself into the sort of fights where you're both taking, 200 damage, which is great for the next fight if you can capitalize on it and be fast enough to grab an item and take out your opponent while you have the spawn health advantage. But those are very narrow windows and they close pretty quickly.
Apparently Leshka's the Frag Lord. Makes a lot of sense. GG is called. There we go. The first game in this, what is it? Loser bracket semis. It's the best of 3. And Leshka takes that rather
Now,
handily.
I will say this about StarCraft is that I wish this is something that MOBA teams would pick up, is that when things are looking past the pale of possibility for a win, they generally call GG and go on to the next map. That's nice.
So the new trend is that you call GG before the fight. So you know how, especially in StarCraft 2, some games have turned into the rather ugly. I mean, it's only in certain matchups and only at the lower levels, not the super high Korean level, because generally they're harassing all the way.
Right.
But it's just one army versus the other, and I love this, and it happens all the time, is before they even clash, they look at your army and they go, nah, I can't be that. Even if it's not that obvious, even if it's like a 10 supply different, you just GG out there. It's brilliant. I think that might be going too far.
Game. Yeah.
Oh, I know. No, it's a game that I've seen do some psychological damage to myself when it comes to calling GG. I lose the first frag and I'm like, well, I mean, you'd have to make some mistakes, and I already know I'm worse than you, so let's just go to another map. Does save time though.
Fine.
Does save time.
Absolutely, yeah. And in this business, that's certainly worthwhile.
Unfortunately, in the arena FPS scene,
the only way MOBAs could have ever become an esport was the massive amount of resources that are being pumped behind. Intrinsically, it just has no value as an esport at all.
All right. I'm glad nobody watches this.
What? I don't think that's too controversial to say.
Maybe not around these people, no. These people being Warsow players. But in general, no, I would say
Quake players in
even
general, yeah.
people, maybe ex-Quake players that are now in esports and have done other stuff, I think they'd want to disagree. But, well, I'm not too sure how much I disagree with you.
I just take a huge point of contention with the fact that there's no time limit.
It has caused some issues. Leshka's asking for his next victim. I like it. I like it. And we're going to see what we can jump into. User versus Umka should be going on.
Wow.
How far that's going to be in, I don't know.
My eyes deceive me. User and Umka in the other lower bracket final.
Yeah, I'm not understanding
Semi-final,
that.
rather.
Alright, Umka won WDM 10. That's all I know.
Would be nice.
Let's, is he out? Who's out?
Wow.
I think User might have lost us.
13-11, wow.
Okay. User and Umka, that is so weird. That is extraordinarily weird. And I do fear that, like a lamb being fed to a wolf, Umka's about to enter the den of Leshka.
I'm not even sure if that was the last match for them. Maybe it is.
I think, based on what they were saying in chat, I'm going to guess it was.
Okay, I got in a little bit later than you.
Could be wrong. But we will see. In any case... No, on the bracket. Umka going forward.
Yeah, I might have to echo your sentiment there.
This could be bloody.
It could be quick.
Quick and bloody, that's how I like it.
Yeah.
Alright.
I wouldn't disparage you for that one. That was good.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
nothing
proud.
to add to it. It was just good. Yeah. Gobbled that up. All right. So we should be looking for a server now, huh?
Probably. I think
Well,
that's a
Umka's
good
still
idea.
here.
I think. Okay, is he still? I'm just gonna hang about with him then. When he moves,
Or
I'll
is
move.
Leshka gonna find a way to beat Umka without ever having to join the server?
By sheer force of will.
Poor Will.
I'm in an awkward position right now where we were talking about something, went on a tangent, I came up with a joke, but now I have nowhere to fit in the joke. But I thought, this is perhaps more awkward than silence, but that's more entertaining. When we were talking about MOBAs and that, I was about to say... No, I was saying that I save time by GGing out early and being a massive pessimist. Well, unfortunately, the arena FPS scene is the one where time does not equal money.
Yeah. Because we get on with it in a fairly respectable amount of time. I mean, 10-minute duels, I mean, and if it goes more than 10 minutes, then there's a good reason for it. Same thing with fighting games.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's...
I'm just old now and I don't have time to look for yet another Baron run that may or may not actually do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It has bothered me. Yeah, Tetris, the joke was that was my sex life, quick and bloody. It does frustrate me with MOBAs, you know, and StarCraft to an extent, but with StarCraft, because it's 1v1, obviously, you have a great deal of control. The way I play my games, they do tend to go somewhat long anyway, but it's because I'm doing
fine.
it. You know, it's a little bit
That's
more
fine,
agency is the
because
difference.
presumably the hand hasn't tipped either way yet, and it could still go either way, but it seems that when StarCraft players acknowledge that the hand has tipped, then they just get on with their lives, and it's great.
Yeah, although there is a player famously who didn't GG until the last, and that was, of course, Fantasy. Famous Brood War player, one of the best towards the end, and had a fairly successful career in StarCraft 2 until he retired far too early for my money. But he did GG rather late, and I'm sure to the dismay of many a caster. Obviously, as arena FPS casters, we would know that better than almost any. Casting over games is...
And when they get bored, they must talk about Quake.
No, nobody talks about Quake.
Wishful thinking again.
You're lying to yourself. It's not
Go with
healthy. What did your
Alright,
counselor say to you? Oh, we're moving. Alright, I've moved.
Well, my counselor said, don't worry, the bruises will heal.
Alright. See, we joked about this before the stream. Obviously, the people watching
And we said
know
we
this.
wouldn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, oh, so he made... Well, yeah, Jahar, you made one joke about parents
Parental
abusing
abuse.
children, yeah? And
That's
I
a
went...
comedy goldmine.
And it was weird because it was basically the first thing you said to me. I was like, okay, is this just the day? Is that it? No, it isn't. Apparently it is. So here we
I had a
go.
little bit of help. It must be admitted.
Yeah, you had your inspiration from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
A little bit
I
of
learned it
truth to every
from you.
joke.
Yeah.
Well, your dad's a comedian. Just
I'm sure he thinks so. Alright, we have 15
Yeah.
dropped. We had 2 dropped. I don't like where this is
Whoa.
going. This could turn into
Whoa.
10. You don't want to face Leshka on 10 on 5.
10, 17, and 5. I'm hoping for 17 again.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Ooh, no, it's going to be 10 first. Now Leshka's pick. No, apparently we're not doing the other two. Just going to 10. And then Leshka's assuming he's going to win. And then Umka will forfeit the next one because he's been battered so badly, like Jahar.
10 is such a
age
high
7.
skill level map, though. It's a map that doesn't have a red armor, just has 2 YAs and a mega. And that usually means that it's harder to maintain a run once you start it. So you need to be rather good. You know, you're not going to be handed any free frags. And Warsow does a good job of not really handing you any anyway.
Unlike MOBAs, am I right?
Yeah.
Hey.
My numbers are bigger than yours.
Probably. Probably.
I really hope we're pronouncing Umka right, by the way.
I've already been told I'm pronouncing Leshka wrong, so I'm beyond the point of caring.
But, well, somebody told you. I've been pronouncing it Leshka for years. Nobody told me.
Apparently.
this?
How about? Let's get this on stream. I'm not too sure if you guys are going to be able to hear this. Hopefully. How do I get the audio?
Yoshka.
Oh, it's Yoshka. It's Yoshka.
Yashka. Years of Leshka. Oh my god. My whole
Cool.
world is collapsing. Here we go.
I'm British, you're American, we don't care. That's how our nations operate, that's how our language operates. No, but no
Take
seriousness, I
L's
probably
at
will
face
call him.
value. Yeah.
I'll try to call him Yoshka. It's gonna be hard though.
Fuck it. I've been doing it Leshka for years. Not going to change that. Anyway, we got Leshka here. Oh, his name is nothing but L's. Am I to take that as read that it's nothing but That doesn't make any sense. That's silly. You're wrong.
I want to call him that now. Yeah.
Alright, but Leshka taking a little bit of splash damage. I like the fight coming out of Umka here.
Yeah, who?
He's aware of Leshka's position.
Who's Leshka? I haven't heard of him.
But he's not able to do too much about that right now. He's looking for this yellow armor, but here comes Leshka instead, and it's going to be a flatland fight. One that Leshka wins, giving him the first and second frag as, maybe assumptions were a little bit too quick there as Umka spawns on the green armor. Certainly took a lot of damage, but was able to hold on to dear life just barely. But sometimes that could be worse because you got to spend all that time worrying about 25s and grabbing 5s and being anywhere but where you need to be.
Not Beverly Hills, that's for sure.
This being done. Certainly far away. But Umka, you know, he's staying alive, but you can see he's sort of floundering like, where do I want to be? He's literally just doing laps in the map right now. Enjoying the fact that he's in this upper bracket final.
Yeah, this is his moment. He's gonna... Maybe he's just gonna make it, so he gives very few
honestly,
frags
this
away.
Isn't bad at all. Like I said, there's very little in terms of resources on the map. And it's way too easy to get caught out looking for a 25 that'll never come. Certainly a mega that'll never come. So doing laps until an opportunity presents itself, I can't be too mad about that.
Well, it could even just be the idea that if you're gonna play against Leshka, or sorry, Yoshka, chances are you're going to lose. So just gonna make that frag count as low as possible. No fights, pure running, pure jumping. Play defrag while he's playing duel.
Well, defense certainly does start with a D, and Umka's been able to get away with the yellow armor. I mean, still we're only looking at 2-on-0 here, and honestly, it's not even that much of a cheeky thing to just try to keep the frag count low, because that's how you get your opportunities. And that's where, once you do get your opportunities, you actually have a better chance of making it stick. If it's not 20-0, instead maybe 2-0. And Umka's been able to get away with another yellow armor here. So 2Y is certainly a good start. Now, the next bit is the hardest bit, because this is where he actually needs to hit Leshka. And so far, well, he's got 6% LG and hasn't managed to hit a rail yet.
Rather unfortunate. Leshka stacked like a juggernaut. Brought back down to size, if only for a moment. And another. Okay, I'm gonna jump over and watch Umka actually. He has been making.
This is quite nice.
He's been making some strides towards where he needs to be.
He's in a bit of a shit position right now, but he seems to be a little bit committed to this fight, but he might be backing up here. He could have backed up maybe a little bit sooner in order to come back over and get some more EV ammo, but he drops down instead, which will cost him, you know, of course that yellow armor was going to be gone, but also any positioning on the Mega, and that drop down was ill-advised for sure. But the damage he's putting out is just tremendous, as Leshka's now out of armor. We've got 5 seconds until the upper Y comes back up. And Umka might be able to do a little bit of damage on it. No, he's gonna have to leave it. Yeah, nice rail. That was good. But he also has to leave the lower YA as well, unfortunately. That was enough damage to push him into the timer for Mega Health. So I've still got some tentative hope here.
Yeah, it's not as one-sided as what I at first believed. The fights with the back and forth, that's for sure. But It is Leshka with a beast unleashed and for all to see.
Alright, but here as we near a halfway point, it is, again, only 8-0. Umka is doing his damnedest to just stay alive. And this little platform by the 50 health is underrated platforms for staying defensive. It's not really part of any of the routes on yellow armor, but it does give you access to the lower yellow armor. But again, these drop downs are just happening at a really poor time for Umka.
Well, he could do with some CPR right now.
Good damage. But Leshka, he knows how that teleporter works. He's not going to have any wool pulled over his eyes there as he makes his 11th frag.
When you said that's good, I was really hoping it was a compliment on my reference.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The little things in life, the little disappointments, the cuts that at first seem like they're from paper. Actually, a broadsword in disguise. Leshka with 2 rails. Astounding. Stunning. And I always forget the 3rd word.
Amazing?
Amazing will do. I mean, a bit...
Sure.
A bit ordinary. I'll go for exhilarating.
Which is phonetically an alliteration.
Yeah, exactly. For all that this game might not be that interesting, and that it was for many a foregone conclusion, in that for many there was simply no way that Umka could get into this. It does serve as a demo reel to whet the appetite and make you that much hungrier for Leshka versus Puffed Up.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, this is a very not random map. You know, if you compare this to something like Aerowalk, you know, one of the nice balancing factors of Aerowalk is that eventually you're going to get fragged and you're going to spawn on the red armor. And eventually, when you spawn on the red armor, it's going to be there. And that gives you a huge leg up, no matter what your skill level is. Here, you're not handed anything for free ever. So the fact that, whoa.
As you said that, he was handed quite a bit for free.
You get nothing for free unless somebody starts chomping on your Cat 5 cable. Yeah.
The tactical AFK, yeah, no, it works out. Leshka, full sense of security, he lays the net. It's a trap that, when sprung, presents him with a frag, and perhaps, if it was on purpose, quite the oh, come on, GMT, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's quite the taunt. It's a menacing taunt, is what it is.
I think Umka definitely has the right idea with how to play the map, but it just comes down to the damage output. It's hurting him.
Yeah, it certainly is. In his defense, he's stayed in this a lot better than I think most would. We'll see. Okay, 3 to 14. He does have control. He has the stack right now. What can he make of it? I don't want to fake hype it. I don't want to be a terrible caster, but at the same time, it's not impossible. Call that a 4th.
Yeah.
Alright, Jahad's not feeling it. He's not believing.
No,
You gotta believe. You gotta believe.
My hope is
Stop believing. He
thoroughly
himself.
quelled at this point. Yeah. Because at some point, I mean, we've all been here. You're losing a map, and then about halfway through, you go, all right, whatever I'm doing isn't working. I need to, I need to commit a little bit more to these fights, because if I don't commit, I'm never going to get them. And then that ends up getting punished as well, and you just end up dying more often. Maybe it's only happened to me.
Well, he's gonna have to pick up what's left of himself is Umka. Going into game 2 should he choose to play it. There's no way this game doesn't rattle you. But as you said, it's not a map I would like him on personally. I wouldn't like playing this map versus anyone more experienced or anyone with a mechanical advantage.
And I think that really is the biggest gap here. Again, he's not, or at least hasn't often been just diving into some really, really dumb fights. He's been trying to pace himself and take the items he can afford to get and trying to push the mega when he can afford to, and otherwise just leaving it up. But yeah, the fights themselves just have not been working out well.
That's a shame. I think it's commendable and admirable showing that. I mean, 4-18 versus a player like this. No mean feat. And to get it this far, losers finals. As far as arena FPS tournaments go, this is on the stacked side.
Absolutely. Especially with Leshka's late seeding.
Yeah, that's messed everything up. Although, to be fair, in the losers finals, if, you know, it would either be Puffdar or Leshka here. If seeding ruled done correctly.
Right.
And not messed up by his late entry. There it
Means
is.
that our grand final will be the first running of these guys into each other, which will be nice.
Yeah,
Yoshka.
Yoshka. WDM5.
Alright.
We're moving on.
Now, this will be more than an 18-4 on DM5. This is what I was afraid of seeing in the first place.
I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you. Oh. No, we're done. Some cool wanna play? Been told to go to versus Puffdar and Callvote.net Duel 1.
Oh, okay. Well,
Maybe. I'm gonna wait
looks
about.
like he got scared off.
I'll see Yoshka move before I do anything else. Okay, we really are getting into the twilight moments of this cup. Just potentially one more game. And then the best 5 finals. I do believe it's one map advantage for winners bracket and not double elimination. Or true double elimination, that is. I'm going to have a look now. Grand final. Yeah, one map advantage.
This should be a hell of a
bracket.
final, though. I mean, honestly, I really don't know who to favor here. It's been a long time since I've seen Puffdar play. We haven't seen them play against each other in this cup. So, I got nothing.
I don't think there's a way to call it just yet.
3, 2,
Might be easier to call this one, but perhaps there's an upset ready in waiting. Can he pull out a miracle? Yoshka says no. Quite self-assured of that as he pushes on forward. Not a question in his mind, although he does seem a bit blind because he's jumped over a man without realizing. Spam the teleporter exit. Now, chasing on forward is Yoshka, nearly being telefragged. Instead,
That was a little chance of it.
persevere. Isn't that relevant? Okay, this isn't the easiest frag in the world.
It would have been if he hadn't run out of rockets, but he ended up having to react to Umka a little bit there. As we have almost split timing between Mega and Red. I'm sure Yoshka does not want this to be a trade, but he might not have a choice here as he's chasing Umka through the teleporter, post-grab of the red armor. And this movement is certainly making it difficult for Umka to be tracked, at least until that jump pad. Giving a lot of damage over to Yoshka as well as Mega.
Yoshka doing his best Dick Grayson impression. You don't have to give me a pity laugh, Jahan.
Again, I'm just bewildered at the Americana you're familiar with.
No, it's just how it is. Everyone knows they're American.
At least you did
Sadly.
say Burt Ward, so.
Yeah. That'd have been bad.
Alright, so Umka waiting for the red arm.
It's probably Urmak or something, isn't it? In fact, I'm just gonna call him Urmak. I'm gonna pretend he's the red ninja from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Urmak versus Yoshka.
Right now, Umka certainly could use a palette swap or two. But
Hey!
it's only 2-1-0. I'm actually kind of surprised at this score at the moment, but yeah, Yoshka is just he's just taking a Sunday stroll through WDM5, as you do.
Well, that's it. He's not toying with his opponent. He's not taking him lightly by any means. He's just choosing to play it passive, to play it extraordinarily safe. I don't think
He's
there's any
forgetting
malice
that
behind
this
that.
isn't a racing game. He thinks that he's going to be getting points based on the number of laps he does.
Or maybe it's like judges' decision. This is you know, ice skating or gymnastics. Or maybe
Actually,
it is, as would make sense, a circus performance. I'm sure you could take quite a few Arena FPS community members and put them in a circus without anyone raising an eyebrow.
I'd be shocked if any of us have eyebrows left. Alright, so I'm looking for opportunities for damage here. I mean, he's walking around with not a whole lot of stack. Yashka getting yet another free red arm. As Amka is just taking away armor shards because that's all the scraps that Yashka is leaving to him. And again, he's taking these frags and barely even slowing down.
Yeah, destroyed by a dirty trio of rockets and then slapped down once again and again and again. 5-0.
It's rare to refer to a player's momentum in such literal terms here, but that's exactly what you get in Warsow, especially on WDM5.
He is bulldozing his opponent right now. That's what this is.
It's actually thinking of making an FPS where you kind of generate speed like you do in Quake 2 or Quake 3 Ice. You kind of snake around and build up speed, and then that has a direct impact on how much damage you do when you run into another player. Could be fun.
Probably, yeah. I can see that working.
To be released, never. Because I'm a lazy twat.
Okay. Welcome to Jahar's Journal, a daily show where
Amka killed himself.
Jahar makes
Making him
self-deprecating
slightly sadder than
comments.
myself as for the moment.
And he's been alive for 5 seconds, so he is by default happier than you.
Actually, again, I'm kind of shocked by this scoreline, but I don't think Yashka is begging for too many frags here. We're actually having him have to react to Amka here a little bit, going in for that red, mega rather. One of the many things adding to Leshka's stack. I just can't do the Yashka thing, I'm sorry, it's Leshka, obviously.
Silly foreigners. With your letters that don't work like letters do. Ugh. What are they like? I tell you, that's the most satisfying thing in the world, when you go to another country and they've got a bunch of signs in English. Like, yes.
Oh yeah.
We've done you in. You have been conquered and you have submitted to our glory.
Yeah.
GG.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Good game.
Get it, because I said.
Yeah.
Alright, never mind.
Well, to be fair, given that it made sense without a laborious process of going through 8 levels of sitcom references, probably one of the best jokes today.
Probably the most accessible thing we've said all day, yeah.
That's absolutely.
But us Quake players know the truth that accessibility is really for scrubs.
That's it, right? The fewer people that play a game, the better the game is.
It's the physical truth of it.
Which is why I still
looks
play
like-
Dune 2000.
Oh boy. Wow. For
Oh,
those of
really?
you who think that Red Alert 2 is too mainstream.
Yeah. No, I tell a lie. I play all of my games on a Vectrex. I want a
Oh, it's Liquid.
Vectrex.
Oh, I was scrolled
Wait.
over a little bit far on the bracket. Liquids is still here. He's still in the running.
Oh, yeah. I feel like one
Hi,
of us
Liquids.
should have noticed
Yeah.
that. Well, don't I feel silly? Here's the loser's bracket final, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Let's forget about everything we've said regarding where we are in a tournament. Alright? Nobody bring that up. Nobody oddshot it. We definitely didn't fuck up in that big of a way. Yet. If only I could hypnotize the audience. If only. Now this game could be interesting. I still favor Leshka. I think you're about to agree with me on that. But this should be a contest.
One can only hope. I just realized I haven't said, "Ooh, that's a bad miss" yet today. So.
No, we're getting them all in the finals.
Yeah.
I haven't said that's sensational yet today either.
I was waiting for it, honestly.
And with all the high ground, not a single I have the high ground Anakin reference. These finals are going to be filled to the brim. Not going to be split up whatsoever. Every cliche being dropped all at once. Strap into your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Things are about to get hot and heavy. So...
Interesting drops from these guys. Liquid dropping 10, and Yoshka dropping 2. So 5 is still in the running. Again, not a tactical choice for anybody playing up against Yoshka.
Player called to vote.
Yoshka.
Game over.
17, alright.
17.
Awesome.
Alright, only for
White
the second
phase.
time today.
Yeah.
Oh no, someone in chat just wrote Hampshire, and now I'm thinking Umka is pronounced Hampshire. Oh, I hope not. I'm not putting up with that, because that's just nonsense if that's true. Alright? I am calling shenanigans.
No, you can't turn ambient sounds off. Not on this map. You have to bow to the glory of the fan. Or you will be beaten with the fan club.
Yep. Apparently so. It can kill you. What?
I don't think so.
You can rocket jump into it and it kills you?
What?
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Do it. Do it.
No, it can't kill you. There's a safety.
Oh no, it
plate
does!
there.
It does damage!
What? It does damage.
Yeah! Hey!
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm sold on Warsow.
Lava on the ceiling. That is so next level. So presumably, if somebody is coming from below to the 50 health, you can rocket pop them into it. That is amazing. This map just keeps having gifts to give.
Keeps on giving. Selfless is WDM 17. Unlike WDM 2.
Please ready up.
So,
Greedy bitch.
yeah, alimony up the wazoo.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what alimony is. I don't think we use that word over here. We just say you pay for your children because it's the right thing to do. Don't think we
don't
court
understand
mandate
any of
it.
those concepts.
Yeah. Well, no, if a court isn't involved, that's... Well, you don't know how that works, do you? It's like America. You've got to be suing someone.
Yeah,
I think that's your tagline, isn't it?
I think so.
To fight.
I'd
All
hope
right,
so.
here we go. Liquid and Leshka, and I'm sticking with Leshka.
You are tied.
In the losers finals. Yes,
Yeah.
the losers finals. It was not that last match, and we never said it was. Up on the high ground,
In the lead.
Anakin Yoshka takes the first frag with ease. This one, though, more hairy.
Beautiful rail. And as a response to that rail, he's moving directly into the red armor, at least taking away the green. That actually, I like baiting out the green. Ends up being a nice corner to shove somebody into. But Leshka keeping the top of the map here as he's looking for that red to spawn up. He's a little bit early on it, but ends up not being punished too much. He's got Liquid dead to rights there, as Liquid's able to spawn, take away yellow armor, and have it immediately burned off. Mega health is still yonks away for either of these guys, but Leshka doesn't really need it right now. He's just going to be looking for some additional blood instead, but nice positioning. He's making sure not to leave it up too long and be able to come back in for a free grab.
Oh,
With that
no.
Mega, but again, the hitbox is just not going his way. And that could have such an extreme psychological effect where your opponent assumes that you've already gotten it, and so they go elsewhere. So you're not really in danger of having the item stolen away from you because your opponent thinks you've already gotten it.
Yeah, they think you're
So
confident.
next level. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not versus me.
Assumptions of confidence can be a great weapon. As Liquid gets pulled down a fourth time, and I've not really seen a consistent or really worthwhile fight coming out of Liquid either. I think that Gunblade was the most damage he's done in a little while. Leshka's still trying to control away the green armors of all things. I mean, it does give him a nice route through the 50 health in order to take away the Mega. Can't deny him that. Oh, nice rails from either of these guys, but Leshka has positional priority, not only on this other yellow arm, but the red as well. But it looks like he wants a frag first, which, at this position, I would actually say is a little, I guess there's a low chance of him spawning. Yeah, there, see, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens.
It's looking like it was tribes for a second.
Yeah, when you want the frag instead of the item, then your opponent's going to spawn on the item. That's just the rule. Just how it works. We're going to have to see how much use Liquid can get out of that red armor, though.
Well, he's made something out of it. Plasma with a surprising amount of damage behind it. So that Mega and now the LG with the knockback. Okay, so that looked fantastic for Yoshka, but
yeah,
Plasma once again coming up trumps, real clutch. And by that I mean he walked into a corridor.
Yeah, Leshka was just looking for it. Because yeah, there's a lot you can sort of predict when you know that your opponent thinks that you're going to be in a sort of a tilt mode. You can kind of invite the fight. If you're both running around 100-100, then it's any man's game.
Certainly is.
I just realized how banal of a comment that was. I mean, what I meant there is that, you know, there's no reason to assume that your opponent is going to be unreasonably aggressive towards you.
Don't worry, I peak with analysis like that.
Nice rockets. But that leaves Leshka with only 18 health. And the 50's gone. Tragedy of all tragedies, but the Mega's there. But Liquid, really, he needs to set his sights on things other than just pure frags. He's only 5 frags down here. This is entirely doable if he can wrest away control from Leshka. Now, Leshka being down there in the red armor room, was heard green armor taken away. He was almost ready for more than that rocket, but I think it was a little bit late on the game. Oh, and corners are tough. Look at that, Leshka. Such a gentleman, helping him around. I am shocked that there wasn't a telefrag there.
I mean, Yoshka's the kind of guy that would help an old lady cross the street.
With the lightning gun, yeah.
With the like. I don't think electricity pushes people quite like it does in Quake-like games.
One way to find out. Certainly can try.
Certainly can't try. I don't think that's what you meant to say.
Oh, we can.
Yeah,
Might just be slurring on account of,
certainly can't hurt, I think is the phrase. Can't hurt to try. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, when you're being electrified, your nerve endings just give up. It's great, really.
God, we're good at casting.
The best. In the meantime, unfortunately, this has turned from a hopeful, tense, and dramatic game into Liquid, kind of feeling a little soggy right now.
I like it. I like it.
In the meantime, Leshka's not looking too bothered about anything. He's even baiting out a red armor. How cheeky is that?
That's proper cheeky like Governor. I'd only expect that of a Cockney lad between the age of 8 and 12 with several freckles on his face. And a flat cap, of course.
It's the third best Dick Van Dyke impression I've heard in a while.
Liquid's not out of it, though. The rail has been really the linchpin of this comeback.
This what? I'm sorry?
The linchpin of this comeback?
Oh, the comeback was the bit I had the problem with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is that what this is?
I think so. 6 to 11 from what, 2 to 11? Now Plasma continuing with the aggression. It's unrelenting and it's forceful. I like it. So...
Still 8 seconds before red armor comes up. Leshka going back to his roost at that green, which is obviously affording him a lot of opportunities here to just kind of pick and choose what fights he gets involved with. Liquid, on the other hand, down at the bottom of the map. Able to take away a mega health, though. It's a traded off grab with the red armor, and he comes through 50 in order to push in on Leshka, which is really not the best route to choose when you know that your opponent has just gotten away with that red armor.
And he's put the horse before the cart there, where he's jumped through the teleporter and he's predicted too much. Missed out on an opportunity for a straight-up fight that would, or should have, on his way. Now, in more precarious position, made all the more precarious by that rail.
I don't know how you guys do it over there, but putting the horse before the cart is how we do it here.
No, that would be the horse, but the cart before the horse.
I'm sure that's what you meant to say.
I'm sure it was as well.
Now I'm going to be looking for opportunities to use the phrase, oh no, he put the horse in front of the cart, like he shouldn't do.
Yeah, he's trying to reverse. It's not going to work if you're trying to reverse, is it?
Liquid, once again, finding Leshen in a place where he's just getting caught up on the geometry. There are a few points on this map where there's a corner where there shouldn't be. Corner where you expect a rounder, more voluptuous place. But 8 to 12, now this is starting to look like a comeback. I gotta hand it to you. That was very prescient of you.
I think so. Liquid with it all to play for, and he had so much to lose specifically in that fight, and lost it. He did. Scared away by the grenades, by the plasma as well. It's a mega for Yoshka. He's feeling like he can push once again for the first time in a minute or two. He's right to think that. Maybe even he'll survive another.
Tragic loss there. Liquid, he absolutely had the right idea. Spawn, I know he's weak. This is Warsow. This is how this game works. I can take him down.
An answer?
Gets it. Alright, but we can see the pace start to ramp up here a little bit. Rightfully so, as we have a minute and 30 seconds left. 5 frags to take down here for Liquid. And he needs to not be whiffing shotguns like that. He needs to take some shotgun lessons from Kirk Cobain.
Oh, I heard that was a great quote the other day. Well, I really wanted to use in this cut, but it hasn't come up just yet. Maybe I'd have to watch Quake Live. Brainier than Kurt Cobain's garage ceiling.
Oh, beautiful.
I know. Wouldn't that have been good if anybody played this game intellectually? Bastards. A lot of them, with their accurate mice and their quick keyboard hands.
Alright, but still 6 frags, 1 minute. And this game is certainly doable, but not the way that Liquid is going right now.
Also, to answer someone in chat who were asking, because there was a what was it? A Zoonotic tournament over the last weekend or so. And then there was a Warsow tournament. Of course, the next tournament we'll be running is a Nexuiz one. The one on Steam.
Great.
That's what we'll be doing.
Oh, Leshka. Yeah, that's a brutal one.
Can't wait for the next one.
Assuming.
A player called
Okay, we are going to be going into the next one. All right, he's not done and out yet.
And I think he's got very good reason to play another.
Oh yeah.
Good game.
I can't believe that was a 10 and 20. That was a lot closer than that. I mean, Leshka pulled together a lot of frags in the last couple minutes there.
There's a real showing. Liquid, quite akin to Frag Stealer in previous weeks, where so close, yet so far. Give him an opportunity, see what he can do. WDM5, you said, scary to face Yoshka on. That has proven true thus far. I'm not writing Liquid out, writing him off rather, just yet.
He certainly isn't licked yet.
Ready to fight. 3, 2, 1. Fight.
All right, here we go. Going to be starting off watching Liquid as, wow, he's looking incredibly frantic here. And wanting to put together a few fights before the items come up, but one rocket from Leshka will put the end to that as we have items coming up in 2 seconds. Leshka is not going to be in really good position for anything here. Liquid taking away Mega Health. Leshka just deciding against it at the last possible second. But nice response out of the teleporter. Well, it looked like it at least, but Liquid's movement telling another story there.
Yoshka wasting no time right there. It was actually quite funny. He kept on going for the rail, but then before he could shoot, switched back to the rocket. The right decision in the end, and he's yet to put a foot wrong.
I do have to absolutely echo the sentiment of chat here. DM5 is not the map to play against Leshka. But Liquid trying to slow it down a little bit, and beautiful timing on that LG. Ran out of ammo at a critical point, though.
Big flubs.
Well, he was able to finish it with 41 health left over. not bad at all, forcing him through the teleporter and able to take away 225s. And now we've got all the items to play for. We got red armor up. Liquid's not in a great spot for that, but if he can force a trade with the Mega, oh no, or potentially he could lose everything all at once. That is heartbreaking. And of course, we have the advantage of knowing the exact times here. We have no way of knowing how aware Liquid was of the item times, but at least from an objective standpoint, that was just a really tough place to be.
I thought even more impressive was the way that Yoshka charged up the corridor as the barrage of rockets rained on down, and like a Jedi, each one. Barely missed.
Well, if this were Jedi Academy, he could have force pushed those rockets right back against Liquid. Where's
That
the
would be
Jedi
cool.
Academy tournament? We have Zlanatic and Nexus and all this stuff.
We don't actually have next to it, I just want to point out.
All
We're not
good.
that stupid.
All right, good. Thank you.
Yeah, Jedi Academy. That would be cool. That would be very cool.
Hugo could hook us up.
He could.
Yeah, make that happen. Bet he already hates his vote. I don't know. I don't think you could not be aware of exactly what you're asking for when you vote for this.
No, you know the term savant. You know the term idiot savant. Maybe that's Liquid. Maybe this is his first time ever playing Warsow and he doesn't know who Yoshka is. That'd be pretty cool. At the moment.
Would it?
It would be quite... What, someone being this good, first time ever playing, but then they've got the picks horribly wrong.
Sort of rain. Okay, right.
Yeah.
I put 14 on 1 and we're only 3 minutes in. This is exactly, unfortunately, what I expected. Oh, you got Vinegar in the game. Fortunately, we haven't seen a whole lot of Salt yet, so.
All the salt was at the beginning. We've been deprived of it for a long time. It's about as scarce as it was.
Has been somewhat fatalistic about it, so.
Yeah.
There's a certain element of acknowledgement and acceptance going on.
So how about It Follows, huh?
Fantastic movie.
See, alright, so I watched It
classy.
Follows. I didn't know much about it.
We really shouldn't be in the same room together. This is bad for everybody involved.
Game over.
Alright, so I watched It Follows.
Good game.
And I knew what the well, not the gimmick, because it's actually its gimmick is a lack of a gimmick in many a sense. 'Cause it's
But it
shot
is a
in
gimmick.
very it kind of
It is a movie about the gimmick, but the benefit of the movie is the presentation thereof.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I watched that movie and I can't say I didn't enjoy it, but I think it's a movie I respect more than I really hold with any kind of high regard or reverence, because it is shot well,
It
it's
was
acted well,
classy.
the script's okay, the concept's cool, but I feel like it benefited from the rest. So it benefited from being comparatively good to the garbage being produced elsewhere, while in itself, in a vacuum, it's simply a decent movie.
I don't know. Historically, there has been a lot of garbage in the horror genre, but this has been a very good 3 years over very recently. And I would say that It Follows is indicative of that good era. It was classy, it handled itself with grace. And yeah, it was understated, but
Yeah.
I think that was to its benefit.
Well, I appreciate that, I really do. I think it's more a commentary.
It didn't have to be this epic, oh my god, you have to go see this because it does all these amazing things. No, it was just quiet and good at what it did, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Well, I think I'm more commenting on the fact that it's achieved such acclaim, despite, to my understanding, it being quite an ordinary, or what should be fairly ordinary. So I don't feel like I have much to level against the film itself, but rather the way that it was critiqued. Or
There is something to
perhaps
be
like
said
Callvote.
about things that should be the norm, but unfortunately, compared to the rest of the industry or the genre, it isn't. So it's
Yeah.
worth calling that stuff out anyway. If the worst thing you could say about a film is there should be things more like this anyway, so
Yeah.
this shouldn't be remarkable, then that's not a bad thing to say at all.
Ah, sure. Sure.
There should be more games like Dark Souls.
I might be able to disagree with you on that, but although, well,
I'm comfortable with you being wrong. That's okay.
I'm pretty anti-games, so maybe that's my issue.
Is that why you play StarCraft then?
Hey! No, I do play StarCraft. I play StarCraft because I don't drink or do cocaine, and it's about the closest I can get.
It's cheap too.
'Cause I've tried this, where I'll essentially do different tests before and after an activity, and StarCraft is the one that gives you the biggest boost. If you try to do some exercise after StarCraft, you are pumped. It's just, you're all ready to go. It's properly weird. That's why it's the best game, though.
Alright.
It really is.
It's been such a roller coaster. It always is with you. I'm used to being the
Don't know how to
foil
take
to somebody else, and it's weird when there's no straight man in the room. Read into that what you will.
No, we're going to leave that one fairly obtuse, as we would have to leave our sexuality with our parents.
Yeah. Alright, but here we go. We're going to be going into the grand finals, and this is actually a grand final that I'm, contrary to the rest of our tone throughout the rest of this cup, I'm rather excited for this, because I don't know what's going to happen. Usually with these cups, either Puffdar or Leshka show up, or Kerpal, or Low, but never two of them. And so having both of these guys in the server, I think we're both in for a bit of a treat and a surprise.
Well, I'm almost tentative and on, what is it, on tender hooks. Because I have this worry that we're going to build this up, and this should be amazing. But what if it's not? I really hope it is. From what we've seen today, I don't think there's anything obvious to separate the two of them. It's all going to be proven here. This is the pudding. Whoa, whatever, Mongol. It's... Jesus Christ, the banter.
What?
The banter! I'm just going to leave chat open for stream that. You can revel in that.
Somebody in the servers, or in TV rather, is honestly wondering where Kerpal is. And was like, oh, he didn't play. This is a final and Kerpal isn't here? Something must be wrong.
Nah, he would have already won.
Yeah.
Leshka doesn't
Alright,
even
so-
bother playing the second map versus him. Is he going to
So
play
both
it?
players
That's
making
tough,
pretty big bets over who's better at DM5. Leshka right now, down to 3 health. The 225s are already gone, already taken. Puffdar taking away the mega health. Does Leshka even really want to show up at red armor here? Well, looks like
He
he's going to
does.
be able to get away with it, as well as some weapon. Out of the teleporter, though, Puffdar really isn't able to capitalize on him, though, as he ends up taking a little bit of a spam rocket himself. Look at how defensive both of these guys are being at this point. They're both pieing corners and just looking at angles and going, nope, not gonna fall into an easy trap here. So the fact that on WDM5 we saw an almost eventless first minute is in and of itself noteworthy.
And that's surely respect for each other that's caused that.
Or
They
just
both have to
fear.
play their smart. Well, exactly. They have to play their very best Warsow here, and they have to play intelligently because mechanics, unlike in the rest of this tournament, are not always going to be to your advantage. The stacks right now in favor of Puffdar as he opens up this fight with some ferocious LG. The rockets to follow up, and it's finished off without a scratch on him. Zid a second, misses that rail, still pushing on forward. Rocket finished that.
And that frag coming for free means so much. And look at this, Leshka just able to take off almost all of his life here, coming in for that third frag. But now it's kind of touchy. He's got to take this red armor, and he's got to run with it because he's done damage to Puffdar. But Puffdar is going to be able to recover that fairly quickly. We have split timing on the 225s already at the top of the bridge. But Leshka coming in for the Mega of all things, and he's able to make good on it. Barely. Holy crap, that Mega could not have come at more of a critical time. Puffdar getting that initial rocket bounce at his feet. He's going to be dropped down towards the red armor. I'm left wondering if Leshka's even going to be able to show up at that red. Doesn't look like it.
Tight like a Chinese Olympic gymnast, I think is the way I would describe that last fight.
So many twists and turns in that reference. All right, rails across the bridge. Wow, that was just,
yeah. The timing on
an
that.
objective rails. It's like, all right, now we rail each other. Okay, now we have railed each other. Okay.
Well, they're at the level where they might be playing like it were a flowchart. Yoshka, easy money for him.
They'll bring him within one frag, but man, this initial LG coming out of Puffdar just absolutely brutalizing Yoshka. As we have another drop down for red, and this time I think Puffdar, you really cannot afford to be here. The split timing on the 25s is always just so brutal.
Oh, and he doesn't give away the Mega because Puffdar's not on top of it, but still!
What?
What? The stack disadvantage was massive. But he doesn't miss LG. It's inhuman.
This has been well demonstrated already.
What, and even tracking down? What is this? That's not right.
Well, this is where Yoshka could easily take him down. And he knows that he's going to get a free red armor out of it as well. So, you know, down here in the Mega Health room, Puffdar has nowhere to run. But man, again, he just is not missing that LG whatsoever. 22 health and he used the unkill.
Oh! It's the death beam. That's the thing Tesla was making before he died. Well,
now we know what killed him.
It was Puffdar. Puffdar utterly lethal, and I think Yoshka's gonna have to rethink many a thing right now, and you can see him right now.
I mean, be fair, I mean, he's hitting 60% railgun himself. Puffdar is so weak, and he can finally push him over, so 4 frags between them. Yoshka needs to turn this into a run. He has the stack to justify it, but Puffdar coming around the corner with this riot gun, he's going to be able to take so many chunks off of him immediately. So red armor's going to be up, and Yoshka's going to be there, but there's the riot gun to take him on down. 4-7 now. Puffdar is going to just look for free damage, and his initial shotgun not quite so good, but follows it up with 2 beautiful shots. And there goes that run.
They both started off this map with an air of respect, of fear, as we were saying. They didn't want to engage each other, but the floodgates have opened, and the floodgates bear with them a tidal wave of blood.
Tamponic wave, as it were. But, wow, only 3 frags between them now.
Alright.
Yoshka looking for yellow armor. He's not going to get it without a fight. He's going to take himself down as well. So Puffdar getting free armor, free mega health. This certainly bodes well for him as we hit our halfway point. You can hear the splishy splashy. Leshka down below, and the trap at the LG. My God, those are the exact traps that will end up winning this for either of them, and it's still up for any of these guys, really.
Oh, you're just getting chunked. And this is one of the beautiful things about all arena FPS games. It is that adaptation you need to make with each and every opponent, where one situation versus me is very different to a situation versus Puffdar. And you can see right there, these fights aren't always Yoshka being caught off guard. Sometimes he's taking them, and each and every time Puffdar with the LG is giving him more and more to think about. And it's elsewhere where Yoshka's finding openings.
Puffdar's got the lead here, but he's weak. And I don't think he actually knew that Yoshka was at the red armor. I mean, he passed right over him, and Yoshka didn't go anywhere. He didn't hear the teleporter. He didn't hear any splishy splashy. Where else could he have been? And Puffdar taken down once again. I mean, yeah, sure, it was a telefrag there, but I think it still would have gone that way anyway.
He's hungry for it. He's pushing on in. 2 rockets all that's needed. And another, perhaps. No, jumps a wee bit too far. 225s there to accept and bolster Puffdar. It's surely going to be a major item trade. Unless Puffdar's... No. Okay. Okay. A little bit weird. Doesn't have the timing quite right there, doesn't realize what he can be doing. Yoshka answering back with LG of his own. Most impressive, but still! The stack advantage doesn't matter to this man. He doesn't care.
As well, it shouldn't. You really need to commit to be able to do any real damage, especially on a map this brutal. But still down for frags is LG. Not quite on par with Puffdar's. But Puffdar's LG is actually dropping down a bit, down to 40%, if you can believe it. But with 14 health, he's looking for damage on the Mega, and he's just going to leave it, looking for 25s afterwards. But nice prediction from Leshka there. Red Armor's going to be back up, and he should be able to make this a fairly easy grab as he closes the gap with Puffdar.
To all that separates them, and 2 minutes 22 on the clock.
Every second of that will matter, especially if Leshka can keep this run going, but he's starting to look a little bit shaken here. I mean, it's really difficult to keep any run running for an extended period of time in Warsow, but man, he's made so good on this one, able to take away a Mega as well. Puffdar, he's able to grab armor, so that trade could slow things down a little bit, but I don't think if anything could slow down Leshka right now. He doesn't he does not look like he wants to be slowed down.
That's
and
all
I
right.
think he can make that choice himself.
Don't feel too bad. I've slipped up on my words about 50 times more than you have. He's still going to win the straw poll. Which is all that matters, of course.
I get a toaster for that.
And I think the separation here is, well, Puffdar has looked more impressive in these fights. He would have the highlights of this game. Yoshka isn't making those huge mistakes when it comes to major items, where Puffdar just doesn't know what's coming up. The LG war, they're going for Yoshka. He's able to close it out with a rail, and I think he's going to continue his march. The charge will not end here. He wants another frag. He'll take it, ripping the skull off of Puffdar's torso.
Puffdar just needs one moment to breathe. And he can't even complain about ping here. He's got the ping advantage over Leshka here. Oh, where did that rail come out of? Did Leshka seriously just fire rail out of his ass? So.
It was a damned quick 180.
Now we know where he keeps his rail gun.
And be putting Agent to shame.
Oh, nice little footsie work there on the yellow red, but that'll be Puffdar still taking a frag,
is the opening.
still taking mega health. This could change things for him. He's got 30 seconds to make up 2 frag.
When it needs to change things for him right quick. He's dropping down. There's Yoshka, but it's through teleporters, and they'll do that little dance. A frustrating dance, without a doubt, for Puffdar, who now hunts a slow-spawning Yoshka. 1 kill, it's overtime. 2, the victory. None, and he's done. Now, through the teleporter, can he do it? The LG, it's enough. The red is well over time, ladies and gentlemen, here in map 1 of the final. Puffdar already with a map advantage. He wants to close this out early.
Where else are you going to see overtime triggered by 16 on 16? 32 frags, and we're looking at an exact tie here as we get into it. But as we get into it, Puffdar is looking at quite a decent stack, but as we have already seen, that doesn't matter too much.
Oh, like a robot, this man is beyond human.
Nice.
He is beyond the mortal coil, and he is beyond Yoshka right now. 17-16, of course, it's not a lead worth bragging about by any means. But it's more than Yoshka can claim.
Slow. He's going to have to earn it, but this play out of the teleporter, he's just taking a lot of attrition damage. 8 seconds to Mega, cannot rely on it. Can't rely on anything really right now, but he looks like he's shaking a little bit and is just begging this Mega to show up and just hoping that it doesn't come with the side of Puffdar. But there's the side, there's the Puffdar, and there's the frag. 18 on 16 now as we're halfway through our overtime, and Puffdar is looking like he's in a good spot here.
You want to wait by yellow? You want to mistime an item? Puffdar says no. In a commanding tone and fashion, 19 for 16, surely it's all over.
It certainly was a bad time to mistime a Mega. It's a worse time to go, alright, maybe if I hang out, maybe I'll just get it handed to me. At this level of play, you just cannot afford to make those assumptions. Wow. The hand has been tipped.
As a
And
caster,
16 to 16 turns into 21 to 16 very quickly. Puffdar taking DM5.
a supremely impressive performance. As a caster, we're so often forced to mutter like a drone, GG. And I think in this case, we can say it completely honest. That was a good game.
That was a game.
Yeah, no, it was. It was an actual game. But that's Puffdar on match point.
Yep.
Yoshka, you got to turn up to your cup, son. You got to get in on the check-in, because that might be your chance at a finals victory, rather. Thrown away. We'll see. 17 is gone, as is 5. And this is a map that Yoshka had vetoed earlier today. DM5, I believe, must have been his pick, and that is a sincere worry.
Game over.
Wow, the banter here is just so incredibly kinky.
It's off the charts.
Yeah.
It's better than anything we can provide.
Please ready up.
Please ready up, says Jahat. It'd be nice if you weren't so forceful. Oh, maybe it's not WDM2. Wait, have they not done picks? In the finals, they don't do picks correctly. Brilliant. That's classic arena FPS, isn't it? That's vintage. That's what we're about, really.
I'm wondering if I have any popcorn left.
Might need it. If it is WDM2, though, if it's WDM2, I don't see us going any way but Puffdar's, because it's such a mechanical map. It's all about the aiming, and where he was giving away opportunity after opportunity with his item timing, with his positioning. Here, not going to be punished nearly as hard. Been caught out by the warm-up.
It really did come down to Leshka.
Oh, wait.
Either mistiming or just hoping that he was going to get that mega, and this is never advisable. Puffdar spawning down in the middle. Already taking a little bit of damage, so that means that he can steal away that 50 right off the bat. He's got rockets. We've got Leshka with rockets, LG, and rails, so he's well primed for this play over Mega. A play that it looks like Puffdar is at least going to make an appearance on before ducking back over towards red, which means that Leshka can move in on the red and force the fight to come to Puffdar right off the bat, and he brings it right to him. He's got none of the fear that he had initially in DM5.
Yoshka with the love tap, and I'm sure he's a happy boy with this start. 6 seconds to the red. He's actually going to wait by the teleporter, gets caught out and up in the rear end. He's shunted. That's going to eat into what should have been a monumental stack advantage. Instead, it's minor, it's modest, still, it's something.
He's going to have to make the best out of that something that he can. He's able to take away Mega without much of a fight, but man, these rails coming from over the top, especially putting Leshka down in that place, pretty much guarantees you some more free damage. Nice denial of the move through the 50 health, as he's able to take away that red armor. So that'll put him back up at the top of the map. Puffdar's looking a little bit weaker and a little bit more at a loss for where he needs to be. He's looking now for that all-important 50 to come up, but there's Leshka as well through the teleporter. There's going to be no escape for him, as we have the third frag in a row for Leshka as he starts to make his revenge. But it's just the beginning. Puffdar has plenty of time here.
And this is where we want to see the tenacity of Puffdar that he showed right at the end of that last game. Bringing it back, had 2 frags to make up in 2 minutes. Okay, not the biggest ask, but then to turn that into a 5 frag advantage. We're going to see what he can do. For the moment, stifled.
And reset for sure. As he's coming back into the red, he doesn't have timing on. He doesn't have timing on the Mega either. But there will technically be an opportunity for a trade if Puffdar can be cognizant enough of it. But there's the red at least. A lot of it getting knocked down, but no! Leshka also slow on the grab for the Mega. I mean, Puffdar's in a shitty position now, but that's 2 items that Leshka was not able to get away with.
And the LG to send him away brings these stacks all the closer. And it is at a point where the range is scary, where Yoshka cannot walk into a fight willy-nilly. It'd be arrogant to do so. Out of that teleporter, gets a better start on the rail as well.
perfectly
Barely
fair,
around the
standing in
corner.
front of a teleporter is a little bit ballsy as well. But he turned out fairly alright as a result of it. He's able to jump up, get a grab for the EV, and nice timing on the yellow armor. That also gave him some momentum out of the teleporter. But he's not entirely sure of where Lushka's going to be setting up. Well, top of grenade launcher is going to be a good start for him. But now he's going to be out of EV completely. I'm not sure if Puffstar has any way to be aware of that, but it's certainly going to be a good advantage here. He's tossing some pancakes his way. Ooh. Yeah, he was definitely on tilt there, and there's the first frag. 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the match. And again, like you mentioned earlier, this is match point for Puffstar. He could be going home with all of the prize monies,
No.
maybe? Prize monies this time around?
With all of the honor. Well, maybe. I honestly don't know. It wouldn't be a lot. With all of the honor, all of the bragging rights, and it's looking like he wants that sooner rather than later for the score. He's bringing it back. And in a most entertaining fashion around that corridor. Probably not the best idea, but it's the red for him. All the same.
Nice angle play here, Aleshka, though. Able to stay pretty defensive with these rockets. Drop it down for the LG. Kind of puts him out of position for the Mega. He's going to be coming in on the Cubby, but yeah, it's not going to be for free at all as he loses out all of his armor. Fortunately for him, yellow armor came right back up. Decent timing. Great, brilliant rocket there as well, but looked left when he should be looking right as Puffstar comes through the 50. Starts doing a bit of damage himself. But the sheer momentum out of Lushka is doing him so many favors right now.
First rocket will give him pause, and the plasma thought it might have done more so, but Yoshka coming up big with that rail as well. Oh, what a man he is.
A curb stop of a rail there.
The kind of rail that makes you lose hope.
The best thing about being in a TV server is that you get all the extra peanut gallery nonsensey goodness. Just brilliant. All right, so 5 minutes left. 7-on-2. Puffstar. I want to say that the random, or not random, but predicted EBs are really giving Aleshka a huge edge here in a way that they weren't really in DM5. It's certainly going a different way for different reasons.
Well, I was expecting WDM2 to be a real task for him, because the LG is going to be weaker. I think his rocket's probably equal. But you're absolutely right, and as is Chad, it is the EB, the rail, that's making the difference right now. And Puffstar, unable to find the kind of engagement he's comfortable with.
Well, you can tell he's looking for it. He's definitely pacing himself out a little bit more now. So stack or no stack, he's looking for these opportunities. But anytime you come up that jump pad, anytime you commit to the red armor room, you're sort of asking for a fight whether or not you want it. A bit of an unexpected fight there, actually, but the 50 is available, and there's no trap from Lushka this time around. But he's still, I mean, he's making the same mistake that Lushka made in the last map, actually. He's looking for a Mega that may or may not happen. But there's the frag, starting to bring it back up. 7 frags to go, but we've seen more than that happen today.
We have, and we could be seeing it again. Puffstar with an uncharacteristic string of missed LG, the EB not connecting either. It is getting to a point where time isn't the main enemy at this point, but it's a factor, it's consideration even more so when the gap is extended to 7. Yoshka has made a dramatic turnaround.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I like all this chasing coming from Puffstar. I mean, he's not getting punished for it too often here, but I think that's mostly just a function of Lushka just playing just a, you know, meat and potatoes sort of map play. It's always interesting with Warsow where you do get up to that point of speed where you don't really need to actually engage ever. You just have these fights and the damage just happens and you don't really stop and you just keep doing your route. It used to be a lot more extreme than this now, actually. They're, you know, playing with the old weapon balance on things like Acid WDM2 was just ridiculous.
Finally, Puffstar is able to get a frag. He was immediately refragged, but refragged. Put him at a net 1 frag gain, 9 to make up in 2 minutes. It really is go time.
But this could give us a tiebreaker here.
Yes, it would be game 4. No, game 3 of a potential 4.
Right.
And Yoshka would be guaranteeing he doesn't get swept. Puff Dart with the EB looked good, and then he walks into, well, a rather unfortunate rocket. And at this point,
from our perspective, we can say pretty easily where, you know, you really need to be looking at when you're making these hits happen as well, because it always sucks if you're able to do so much damage, but then you get fragged and your opponent's able to take away all the items for free.
Yeah.
But of course, when you're in the midst of it, it's really difficult to create the situations at the time you need to create them. But it's going to be forfeited out there. 18 on 5, giving the first map point over to Leshka finally.
Yep, so that puts us at 2-1 as we move into what I believe is either DM15 or DM10. DM17, I think, was the map Puff Dart, quote-unquote, won with his winner bracket.
Right.
Let's see what's going on to now. Going to WDM 15, I'm being told. Apparently he wants the stream to be cut.
Here we go.
Alright, gotta be careful. Gotta be very courteous and inoffensive rather.
I don't think we have much of a chance of success at either of those.
Gotta try though, Jahal. We gotta try.
Do we?
No. WDM 15, another map we've seen a whole lot of today. It is a map again, I think. Like a lot of maps in Warsow, actually, quite rail heavy if you want it to be.
Well, I think both of these guys might be so inclined to do that.
Puffdar losing those wars thus far, finding his strength in the LG. I really thought WDM2 would have been his map. He proved me wrong. And I think it may be just due to a lack of open ground. WDM2, of course, being so small, calls for a lot of prediction, for a lot of awareness that is quite heavily punished. You know, contrary to what I was saying, you're punished less for missing items, for missing timings, for the really basic levels of strategy, but your decision making, where you're pointing, your reaction times, of course, it's all so much more volatile in a small map like that. Maybe that's where he's coming unstuck. WDM 15 certainly with more room and more time to play about with.
Ready up already.
There was a metabolism effect as well. I mean, Puffdar has been sitting in the upper bracket for quite some time. It's always been very difficult to empirically demonstrate how much of an advantage you get coming from the lower bracket just because you have been playing consistently for the past, you know, several hours.
Please ready up.
It's hard to say. Maybe the most dramatic case of that was QuakeCon a couple years ago now, where Toxic was kind of making a triumphant return, and he had done so well before a lunch break, and he came back from a lunch break, and it was like a different player. It was like he handed it off to his, you know, little brother or something, which at a LAN, you know, we couldn't actually seriously claim, but we wanted to, because it would have made more sense than what had actually happened. But you know, his metabolism made that much of an effect.
2, 1.
Well, we'll see if Puffdar can strike back. This is still his match point. Yoshka with a fantastic start, though, takes the first and the second frag. That bodes very well.
What the hell was that start?
I don't know.
This is the most bizarre thing. It's like, all right, here's two frags for free. Thanks, Spawns. I'm sure Puffdar won't be feeling all that well about it, but hopefully Puffdar is able to turn that frustration into to some real Hulkmania here. Alright, so Puffdar able to ride around and get into a good position for Mega, but we can hear Leshka lurking around up top. So he's going to be looking for the armor instead. As we hear Mega taken away. He's going to be in front of him, and a little bit of a late switch over to that LG, but still get some decent damage out. But Leshka still over 100 health. Puffdar not so much as he's pulled on down. It's going to make a 3-on-1. And it's going to make this next fight a hell of a lot more even, especially as those 25s were like, ah, yeah, see what you did? You made me go get those 25s, so now you can't have them. That's justice. That's what that is. So now just the one frag between them. Puffdar able to take away Mega here. There's a bit of a trade-off as Leshka takes away the red armor, as he's got the top of the map too. And going silent for even a couple seconds here can utterly throw off your opponent's ability to know where you are. Puffdar running into him fully blind. No idea where he was. It's amazing how either of those players survived.
Yeah, I don't quite understand how that happened. They both limp away for sure. Puffdar with the low ground, but the better weapon selection off the bat. The Rockets ill-advised, but even so pushing on with that red the rail as well. Yoshka with the frag, the Mega and all. He can turn it whenever he wants at this point. Puffdar, barely a fresh spawn, only a plasma in his arsenal until he picked up that rocket.
I think the respect is back though.
I think it's definitely bad.
We saw a little bit of a loss of that in DM2.
For sure. Yoshka, I'm so impressed by his ability to remain strong and perhaps even come out stronger after WDM5, of course. It was a big comeback. It was something from Puffdar that should have shaken him. He lost in the very last second. He got brought to overtime as well. But Yoshka has taken that all in his stride. And here he is, hitting shot after shot.
So Puffdar, very low amount of health here. He's got the top of the map. He can float a little bit and hopefully not commit too much here. He wanted one more bit of rocket, but as we've seen time and time again, just looking for that one more shot puts you so far out of position as your opponent gets away from you and comes back around on the other side. That was almost disastrous for Puffdar there. But he's able to get away with it. Take away red as well. And he's not able to respond well. That EB certainly did help.
What are these
I like
rails?
that wait. That was a good wait. That was brilliant there. Now he was able to bait out the Mega health. So 2 rails for the price of 1 Mega. Make that 3 rails. Almost worthwhile as Leshka's knocked down to low amount of health. But not enough to push him over into a frag.
Yoshka. Oh, I would have thought he was in a hairy situation, but no, he turns that around. Not quite understanding how he's making it work. Even here, it's shaky. There's something, well, maybe a little bit of fatigue. The LG not finding its mark at all. But neither is it for Puffdar.
Puffdar now.
Yeah, that's...
Wow. I would say I would be a little bit dismayed if Leshka's able to sign up so late, have a low seed, get knocked down to lower bracket, and then still come back and take down the guy who was a reigning champ for quite some time. Just until he stopped playing for a while.
Would be quite the story. And especially for Yoshka, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. His MO. Sure, a win where another Titan being present would mean a hell of a lot. At least within the context of online Warsow competition. But as I say, that Puffdar answering back, there's his third. And he seems to be chasing as...
Well, rather it was a suicide from Leshka, so it meant that was one shot that Puffdar didn't need to waste on it. So he was able to get some good damage as we hit our halfway point. Leshka looking for that Mega health. This is starting to look a little familiar.
He is slipping.
This is Puffdar's time to shine, and I'm sure he knows exactly what this opportunity is all about. You can see some differences in the way he's moving his mouse a little bit now, and there's the EB to nail it in.
And I think Puffdar is going to relish in the simpler situation that is being in dominating control. Right there, not so much. He did lose a lot, but I think you know what I mean, where he's been giving opportunities. It's his strategy. He wants to bulldoze you. Yoshika's done a very good job to stop that.
What is this, an LG? Holy crap. Alright, but Leshka able to take the momentum back here. 6 on 12. I don't know why Puffdar is in the Mega, and I'm sure he's starting to wonder himself. Oof.
Lucky to escape with his life, truth be told.
But at the same time, that doesn't really leave him anywhere to go, so he finds himself right back where he started at the Mega. And again, he's just so focused on that Mega. It's not gonna happen. But the pace of the game has slowed down, which time will tell if that's a good or a bad thing for Puffdar.
I think it's a bad thing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Didn't take much time to start around.
He did have that one run, that glimmer of hope, but Yoshika got the damage done on one life. And from there, was able to calm the beast down, calm the bull, end the Pamplona run, which they really should do.
Well, if Puffdar is on tilt here, emotionally as well as in the game itself, hopefully he can take a breather before moving into potentially the final map here.
Yep. Game 4, both on match point. That would be the decider. Just, you want to win that, and it's over. I almost don't want him to play out the rest of this map. Take the break now. Start thinking about what you want to do on that map. Think about what's going wrong. Because, okay, maybe another player you get this kind of comeback. Versus Yoshika, who has proven time and time again that even off a fresh spawn he's taking 20, 40, maybe 60 HP off you. Not happening. Not happening at all.
It's a bit of a break would benefit Puffdar here. Take a smoke, take a leak, whatever is more useful. Maybe both.
There's the slow spawn, maybe the forfeit. He's AFK. No idea what I'm doing.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. GG.
So what does that leave us with?
I want
17, I would think, huh? Where did that get dropped?
No, I think it's 10. I think it's 10.
Okay. Oh boy.
I hope it's 17. I'd prefer that over 10, but unfortunately, I do not take NZT, and my recall is not perfect. Playing with a laggy troll who banned me from Warsow.gg.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well, here we go! It's what we live for. Oh my god.
This is what I meant by take a breather.
Take it in, lads. Chat. Oh, bathe in it. Let it consume you. You lag on Russian stuff. Oh, it's unending. Yoshika, down to business. He's asking for a pick, but they don't have to pick. It was already picked.
One map. All you need.
Oh, you need both of them. This is essentially a best of one at this point.
Yeah.
Puffdar's not letting it go.
Wow.
Clearly, some history between these two.
I think those random commas sneaking in are telling quite the story. I can almost hear him type. Exactly. Consequently, I literally have my popcorn now.
That was good. I'm going to take a Leibniz break. I'm also going to drink some water. That's probably something I should have been doing. We can only hope this last map is a stonker. I want WDM5 all over again. At the moment, I think Puffdar might be feeling himself defeated.
He is his own biggest enemy.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Waiting. He's still waiting for that answer. He wants to know if Yoshka lags on Russian servers, and if he doesn't get it, he's never playing again. He's just going to live in limbo, unable to go about his day-to-day life.
Well, I don't know. He'll come back for another cup in 2 years.
Yeah. Get to the final again, lose to Yoshka.
Yeehaw! Oh God.
No, just end it, please. Just say you do or you don't. I don't care if it's the truth. Just play the game, guys. Please. Please play the game. Otherwise I'm going to have to read Twitter or something. I can't go this long without stimulation.
It's not exactly literature, is it?
No, it's certainly not. Definitely not my feed. Sure, there's someone who is followed so selectively. It's literally all literature and philosophy
this
quotes.
is server. All right.
Well, I mean, this is classic Arena FPS finals. This is
incredibly par.
Ah, this is ordinary. You know, it'd be weird if they played it.
It would be.
Oh, I wouldn't know what to do. Game 5 of a final never happened.
Oh God.
Unprecedented. Oh no! Yoshka, just give in to his demands.
Yes.
Oh, Yoshka does not negotiate with terrorists. He's the US government. Oh no, I hope that okay doesn't mean alright, the admin can decide them. Just play, lads. Just play. Come on. Oh, he's pulling the I'm an admin card. Oh, where's the apostrophe, mate? Come on.
He spent it all on commas. Unban me from Warsow GG and pick up at Alpha.
Yeah, Tetris. Knocking out Yoshka to the loser's bracket. You've ruined everything. I mean, I know it's not your fault he turned up early or late, rather, or anything like that, but please, sort yourself out.
Way to be a squiggle piece, Tetris.
Oh, wait to just ruin everything.
I'm sure I have admin rights. I can give a screenshot. It's a 15 ping difference.
15.
It's 15 milliseconds.
Oh.
Did you see any lagging? I didn't see any lagging.
Ah, angry Tetris can't even spell uncouth. Or maybe he can, and now I've just been an idiot. Need to look that up. I'm pretty sure it's with a U. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
Just like color.
Okay, well, of course. How else would you spell it?
Ah, no other way. Obviously.
I tell you what I don't
about
get.
30 versus 48 ping.
You put the letter Z in a lot of places, we put the letter S.
Uh-huh.
So you spell realized with a Z, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's because it's a Z sound.
Yeah, but... no, it's an S. So I take it in the American language, there's no novelty to the Z. Because if you know a word with a Z in it over here, I mean, you're doing some high-level stuff.
Oh.
You gotta retain... You gotta retain the novelty of the Z. I care about my troll.picker.
Well, do you just not play Zelda then?
Well, no, that's a novelty in itself. No, she's called Zelda.
Okay, well, fine.
The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Well, you lose by forfeit. I don't think
Says
that's how
the guy
that
who
works.
won't vote a map.
Oh.
Oh. This is legitimately, for those of you who have no idea, this is a dispute over an IRC channel.
They shouldn't even exist anymore.
Well, hold on.
No. All IRC
Kids.
people lost their arguments when Discord was released. Before that, you had half of a broken wooden leg to stand on. That has been burnt from under you.
Well, I mean, okay, Discord is fantastic. I'm not denying that. But it is managed and owned by Discord, and everything flows through them, where IRC is more of an individual approach to that stuff. But I wouldn't expect a guy from Britain to uphold the private sector, rather. So, you know, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's
no,
all good.
I tell you what, I do like that when I'm ill, it doesn't kill me or ruin my family's dynasty because all of their wealth has to be poured into it. So I'll take that insult on the chin. Because I can afford to take an injury to
I
the
can
chin.
appreciate that. Yeah, that's fine. See, this is how you have an argument about something that isn't IRC. But it looks like we finally voted a 17, but honestly, whether or not we're in the map leaves me wondering what Puffdar's state of ability is now.
No, well, I'm hoping he's going Super Saiyan. I hope the anger raises his level to a plane yet unseen by mortal man. Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Cannot even say GG.
You need two good players to make a GG. Oh.
Oh, dear Lord. I'm pretty young, and I think that's rather immature.
I gotta hand it to user numbers. His attitude is consistent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't criticize him for that at all. Warpy bastard. He's a warpy bastard.
It's a great nick. I want to steal that now.
Just play the game! I want to go to bed! What? Well, I just don't know what the time is. Do I want to go to bed? Yeah, it's 9:30. I want to go to bed.
This is next level soft.
Please
Veruca
ready up.
has nothing on this.
I mean, if this is just the most amazing quadruple overtime grudge match, it will have all been worth it.
Yeah. That's the problem, though, isn't it? We're not gonna get that, are we?
Big. I think there's gonna be a crumbling
We're gonna
pretty
lucky to have 2
quickly.
minutes of this game, honestly.
And he doesn't like Warsow 2.0, and he's making us all rather and painfully aware of the
Best version
situation.
of the game that's ever existed.
Yeah, alright. Well, I don't think there's reasoning with logic right now, Jahat. I think we're beyond that. In future, one of the things I will not expect from Puffdar is decorum. It's lowered my expectation, but here we go! After what felt like several hours, this is Game 4 in a best 5 series, but there's obviously a map. It's basically Game 5. This is match point on both sides. A best of 1 to decide who takes the Callvote Cup championship.
Well, right now, Leshka playing things fairly conservatively, grabbing a pretty safe red armor, looking for Puffdar to grab that rocket launcher, and completely missing his opportunity to capitalize on that. So, meanwhile, Puffdar, completely unaware of Leshka's position, I'm sure. It's going to be up top, listening for jump sounds as well as the ever-present fan. And not committing to a fight on the red armor, interestingly enough. This is not what I was expecting, honestly.
Well, it could be like WDM5. They start slow, but as soon as it begins, as soon as the action gets underway, it won't stop. Could well be the case. Time
Sure,
will
Levy's gonna break here
tell.
pretty soon. They're gonna be kind of bouncing off each other. Puffstar got some decent LG out of that fight. Leshka looking for a free rocket and not quite getting it as they just trade railed. And Puffstar is baiting out everything, even the things that he is fully intending on grabbing himself, he's baiting. A little bit late on the grab for the red armor, but he's able to do some damage there. So we're looking at 100-100 on both of these guys. Could not be more even right now. But in terms of positioning, well, Leshka's got a bit of an edge here, at least until he drops down to the middle tier, because that Mega's going to be coming up, and Puffstar can just dive right in and get the grab. Oh no! Again, the hitbox is off this fucking game! Oh my god! Oh!
Tied.
Oh!
All is well again. All is well. Oh.
You've lost the lead.
Is it all over now?
Maybe. That's the thing after an outburst like that we saw from Puffstar. You can't imagine he has a strong mental game going on right now.
He just plugged in his backup keyboard.
Yeah, this is a house of cards about to fall unless he can quickly grab hold of himself. But this isn't the play you're expecting of him. The rails aren't finding them up, but the shotgun is. There it is. Okay, 2-2. Puffstar's still in it. We think it's on a knife's edge. We think he might descend into a depressive, psychomatic... collapse completely, his personality strewn across the floor, a putrid goo. Instead, it's his body. Oh. It's a circus.
Where you shotgun your opponent directly into a mecha health.
Yeah, I've been there.
Alright, but one frag up for Leshka. This is still any man's game, obviously. Puffstar is going to get pulled down at the green armor, though. Not someplace he really wanted to hang out for an extended period of time, but there's going to be a free red armor for Leshka. Puffstar is going to be getting away with rocket launcher, hoping to see a mega health here pretty soon as he's on the top of the map. Looking at the spawn, being incredibly noisy, trying to push Leshka out of it, but overcommits way too early. 15 health for him now, as now Leshka gets away with everything. He can't even get a single 25, as that's a bit of a long spawn for him.
This is the beginning of something for Leshka, who's going from strength to strength until right now the Rockets, well, good at the start, then trailing off literally and figuratively. Not trailing is Yoshka's determination. As he's hitting shot after shot after shot, and you can see it in him. He doesn't change, he doesn't rattle, he doesn't fear or run from anything. It's so controlled.
Meanwhile, Puffstar does his very best to miss point-blank shotgun shots.
Exactly.
He was right there. Alright, so Puffstar, 90 health. That's a good stack for him. Surely. No, not so much.
It's meaningless right now. As Yoshka, as he has done all day and all days previously, continues with a form that fails to budge, even though... That being said, he flubs it over on the mega health.
Well, Puffstar finally gets himself a frag on the shotgun, starting to channel Harris and Klebel just a little bit. Could use a bit more as we hit the halfway point. 9 on 3 is still doable, but it's been a long time since he's gotten any appreciable stack.
And that's just it. Yoshka turns his frags into stack. Maybe even more frags. Puffstar's lucky if he can get the odd one here or there. Never is he able to build momentum. To build that force going forward. Maybe now.
How did he get away with that?
Gonna go even more. That's what I was expecting. Yoshka to crush him. He lets him take the 25s first. And it's really looking like Yoshka from the losers bracket. Apparently not with the skill to sign up on time, but with the skill to make it to the final, to take the finalist to match point in spite of the one-map disadvantage he was put in. But there, in a clowny fight, as I said, this is a circus.
Absolutely.
Things are happening.
I'm not entirely sure I would encourage, still staying in that fight with only 3 health. But he got away with it.
Neither would I. I don't understand it. I don't understand it whatsoever.
Alright, so Pufftar finally getting himself a bit to work with here. In the meantime, I don't think he's paid any attention to Leshka's position. So coming through the teleporter, Leshka just stands by and goes, alright, fine. Pufftar comes in just as the yellow armor is taken away. Nice catapulting through the teleporter. Leshka just getting bounced from armor to armor, giving him plenty to work with, but he's down to 31 health. Can Pufftar push him over to make this frag happen? It's going to be a clash.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
50 health. What? And he comes back in with 7 health. What?
Ah! Ah! Your new 50s was so important. It's 12-4, Yoshka. Is there any stopping you? Pufftar, even when he's had a chance, it's been ripped from him so cruelly.
You start to know exactly what it means when it takes an extra half second for Pufftar to start moving off of a spawn. Uh-oh, this might be it.
There we
Could be it.
go. The reverse sweep. Leshka,
Wow.
Yoshka, war! 3 in a row. And more so than that, more so than winning this tournament, he has made his opponent mad. As mad can
I don't know.
be.
I think Pufftar owns all of the credit for making Pufftar mad.
Okay, I'll give you that, but it makes the victory that much sweeter no matter the cause. Yoshka is your Callvote Cup champion. Once again, that's 2 in a row for him, and for the first time, he's faced some real competition and come out on top. Commendations to him, commiserations, of course, to Pufftar. But
Even though Leshka is indeed the toppest of Kex, I would not disparage him for changing his clan tag to You Mad?
I think he should. I really think he should. I think that's it. I think we're done here today. Thank you ever so much for joining us here at Arena FPS, the home of Arena FPS. We've had a lot of fun today, and of course, more so than thanks to the viewers, because he actually did something. Thank you very much, Jahar, for being on. I'm
Thanks for having me.
incredibly appreciative of it. And is there anything else to say? How about you plug your Quake World stream?
Yeah, this is actually ending at a pretty good time at 8 Eastern, which is timed and calculated just to make sure that we get as many American players on here as possible, because we are going to need all the support we can for QuakeCon. We're going to be starting off with the Quake World FFA event this evening, so it'll be good fun. I'm sure there'll be plenty of drinks involved, and I hope that Pufftar can get himself a couple as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to post details in chat if that's alright.
Go ahead. It's not even my channel.
Perfect.
You can do what you want. I'm not a mod in here, but I haven't got control of anything. There we go. A lot of fun. All being well, I'll probably be back for the next Callvote Cup. I'm sure you can stay updated for that. In terms of Arena FPS stuff, as in the channel, not the genre, I'm not too sure if there's anything going on right now, but we'll keep you updated. Of course, check the Twitter, the Discord, the YouTube as well. You probably all know. But there we go. That is all she wrote. Tournament she wrote. Thank you, good night, and goodbye.